Hello, everyone. Give people a minute to get in. Let me know if you can hear me okay. If you can hear me, please type it in the chat. We always want to do a nice audio and video check every time we start. And Elgeist is here as well. He will be joining here momentarily. Oh, we already have some questions. All right. Yeah, hit that like on the way in. Sounds good. Thank you, Tammy. Let's see. Mic check good. All right. Sounds like the audio is good. Wow, we already have a bunch of questions. This should be good. Looks like we have some new members as well. Mr. Turpin, thanks for becoming a member. Tactic Steve. Tanya's 8596. Donna Shepard. Thank all of you for becoming new YouTube members on this channel. Definitely appreciate it. Let's see. Yeah, we have a lot of people that said they wouldn't be able to make the stream right away. Hello, everyone. As you're coming in, please hit that like button. You know, it helps the algorithm. That's the only thing that really makes YouTube push this out. And Elgeist is waiting, and we will get started here momentarily. Candace is king. Cosmic Wi-Fi. All right. So let's do a couple of quick announcements, and then we'll get started. So as you're coming in, of course, hit the like button. I have multiple ways that you can support the channel, and I know many of you have. I have TriggerSmart merch, which is my shop, and it has, you know, hats and jackets and stuff like that, t-shirts. And then there's ways to ways you can donate, as well as affiliate links. And it's definitely not required, but definitely much appreciated. And also I have my second channel, Off Script Radio. And let me pull that up here really quick. My original goal when I started all of this was to have Off Script Radio be its own channel and kind of keep these separate and unique. Let me see if I can pull this up here really quick. Yeah, so let me present this over here. So this channel here, this one here, this Off Script Radio, you can see the logo is very similar to my TriggerSmart logo, but this is the channel where I would be doing all of this content, this commentary, these interviews. So if you can, please go over there and subscribe. We're trying to get this to 1,000 subscribers so that I can actually put this content completely over there and get it monetized on that side. And you'll see I have some previous interviews that I did, you know, from the firearm stuff, but this channel will be completely repurposed just for commentary, news, and live streams and that kind of stuff. So if you can, please go over there and help us out. All right. Lots and lots of questions. Awesome. Yep, hit that thumbs up. Thanks, folks in the world. All right. So everyone, we'll go ahead and get started here. I know it takes a little bit for people to get in. We're at about 400 people right now, so we will keep going. So as you know, today, this is for Elgeist to do some live Q&A, and the questions that I've seen, very, very interesting. Now, I have several people that have contacted me through email and through YouTube itself, and they have basically agreed with the physics and the math and everything that Elgeist has shown so far. So they agree with his math. What's interesting is one person said they agree with his math, but they don't think that Charlie's alive. So we'll let Elgeist kind of address that, but I would assume if you agreed with his math and his physics, that would show that it did not hit Charlie, but we'll let them answer to that. So let's go ahead and welcome Elgeist.
Hi, guys.
So if you want to introduce yourself to the people that are brand new and have never met you before.
Yeah, hi, guys. I am Elgeist New Dream, and I have investigated the shooting at UVU on September 10. And I have come to the conclusion that the shot was fired into the trunk. The shot was fired 140 yards out at the sniper's nest, which you probably know as the position of Tyler Robinson. And how did I do this? I evaluated, or I looked up the smartphone videos that are here on the site archive.org. Here you can find all the smartphone videos. I can just click on one. So here's where you can find these. Then I downloaded the videos. Okay, it doesn't open now, but yeah, here it opens one. So here you can find these videos. Then I downloaded the videos. I put them into Audacity. Then I determined the crack and the thump. Then I took these values and I put them into these into this Excel table here. For example, here's the crack and thump value for a recording. And then I calculated the distances here with these cones on a screenshot of Google Maps. I can just show that briefly. So I put these cones here where the sniper's nest is. And then...
And for those who are coming in, we're just doing kind of a quick recap so people know what we're talking about here, or what Algeist is talking about, I should say. But we did a full video on this yesterday. So after this is done, you can go watch that video. It's very detailed. He covers the Excel spreadsheet, the cones, the mock cone, some of the physics behind it. So if you want to dig really deep into that stuff, then you'd probably be better off watching that video. He's just kind of giving a summary right now.
Yeah, just to briefly sum it up. So then I remember these positions here. I also put them into the Excel table. And this is how I can prove irrefutably with classical physics that the shot went into the trunk. And I also want to give you again the illustration. So here we are at the position of allegedly Tyler Robinson. This is the sniper's nest. And now I just let it run. And you can see that the shot was fired into the trunk of this car and it missed Charlie Kirk.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Yes, so much for the shot. And today we can also cover many other things. We can cover the prosthetic, so how Charles Kirk faked the wound on his neck. We can cover who helped him. We can cover why he faked his death. And we can cover all questions. So I have a very complex explanation as to why this happened and how they did it. In my opinion, this was an operation of US intelligence.
All right, so how about we start with some of the questions that we had offline, and then we can start fielding some questions here in the chat. Let's see. Let's start off with all right, first one. And this was one of the probably the more common questions. How do you explain the neck cavitation? And for those who aren't familiar with what that is, that's where the neck bulges and the tissue bulges with supersonic shots. And it typically means that there's the bullet itself going through is causing the fluids in the body to expand rapidly. And in some of the camera, in some of them, not all of them, there were a few where it looked like there was cavitation in the neck area and it kind of swelled up.
Yeah, the neck cavitation, it is the video that I showed last time. I think there were two tubes under his, or in his prosthetic. I think it's this one here. Yeah, this is the video. So this is, first of all, this is an original footage. This is not altered. And here we can already see a swelling. And I say, this is makeup. There is one tube under a prosthetic. And this is what causes an air puff that lifts up his shirt. I'll let it run. So I said there were two tubes under a prosthetic. And here we see such a prosthetic on an actor. The first tube is the fake blood tube that supplies the blood for the wound later on. It's not real blood, it's fake blood. And then we also have a second tube under a prosthetic. And when I say prosthetic, I mean a makeup layer. Here we can see that this is a silicone layer. This is roughly 1 inch thick, and it looks like skin. And there they can put tubes in. They do this also in movies and for special effects. And this is what they used here. This is all makeup. And there were 2 tubes. The first tube was the fake blood tube, and the second tube is the air puff tube. So, okay, here we can see the 2 tubes, the blood tube and the air puff tube. We can see that they use a regular garden sprayer, a completely common utensil to get the air puff into that tube. And we can also say that there was a valve here for the cavitation that made that shirt first shoot up in the neck area or in the back of his neck, and then the valve closed, and then the shirt shot up to his cheek. So here we can see that animation with the valve. And here we can see a photo of a real actor with a prosthetic. And this is not a real wound. This is all
What movie
makeup.
was that from?
That was from Sicario Day of the Soldado from the year 2018. Yeah, this is an actor. Yeah, and then we also had, we showed the clip with the ballistic gel. We can also show that now, where you can see that that Dr. Chris Mortensen made this argument that that there was a cavitation event. And here we have this clip again. And we can see that the cavitation is behind the bullet. And this is a big problem for the argumentation by Chris Mortensen, because this means that the bullet would have needed to exit the body of Charlie Kirk, because the cavitation is always behind the bullet.
And that's the question that a lot of people were kind of battling with. They said, all right, so say if he got shot and he had this Man of Steel neck, right?
Yeah.
So he's Superman. So his neck stopped this 30-06 bullet or whatever bullet they say it was. Like with what you're saying, it wouldn't have enough travel room, right? It might have a few inches. So if it entered the front of his neck and it hit his spine, it only traveled 1 or 2 inches. Like you said, you're not going to get that huge cavitation event similar to this. Now, you might get a nice impact. You're still going to have the 2,400 feet or 2,500 foot-pounds of force hitting the spine, but it might not do that type of cavitation like we're seeing here.
Yeah, so if the bullet only enters this far or a bit further, then how do we have a cavitation here? I mean, the shirt shot up first here on the back of Charlie Kirk. So if you imagine that this is now the neck of Charlie Kirk, this is the front, this is the back. And the shirt was shooting up or blowing up first in the back. And this doesn't make sense, because we can see that this cavitation is in the front of, well, the neck, if we imagine the neck here. And there simply is no reason, no physical reason why there should be a cavitation here if the bullet gets stuck in the body, unless the bullet had exited the body like this here. And now we can see there's also a cavitation in the back. But the problem is that this entire cavitation started in the back and then traveled to the front. Well, these are pictures that we cannot show here right now to, not get rated. But this essentially makes the argumentation by Chris Mortensen collapse with a cavitation. There was no cavitation. It was just an air puff.
Okay, so now we have some very big questions people want answered. They want your opinion, really. Like, this isn't like a Elgeist, all things, right? You don't have a crystal ball. But these were the most common questions that people are asking, and I see it in the chat, a bunch of it. So let's go ahead and do that first. So neck cavitation, you showed the tubes and the prosthetic. So we got that. Next question, in your opinion, where is he now?
I like to imagine that he has a different face and enjoys his life somewhere on a nice beach with his lover. This is what I think he does now. I think he has a new ID, a new passport. I don't think he meets Erica Kirk. I don't think they have met since they faked his death. I think he has a completely new life, but he has everything paid for till the rest of his very long life, probably. And I think he enjoys life now.
Do you think that Erica knew about it? Do you think she knows about it at all?
Of course, she knew about it. This is well, I cannot prove that she knew about it, but I think that her entire demeanor makes it very clear that, or her entire demeanor makes a lot of people think that she is not really credible as grieving widow. And yeah,
That
there
seems to
are
be the
many
consensus.
people. There are many people that question if their entire marriage was even real. So, because she's so many years older, she's 5 years older than him. So, was this even real? And yeah, I don't know. Did Erica know about it? I think she knew about it, and who knows? I mean, I perceive this more as some kind of soap opera. Maybe Erica Kirk is happy that she is the main actress now, that she has the main role now that Charlie Kirk had before. Or I'm kind of puzzled watching this from a bit of a distance.
That's a lot of power to come into. So, as his wife, yes, he was the powerful one. He was the CEO. A lot of people, I mean, based on the whistleblowers, they're saying that he didn't really run the company, right? Like he spent his time away. He delegated everything else to everyone else. So, yeah, I mean, she went from his wife to now she's in charge of a multi-million-dollar, corporation
Yeah.
that's has huge political power. They helped get Trump elected.
Yeah, I mean, Erica Kirk is 5 years older, and any man, if you have life experience at a certain age, that then you know that it is that you can you really be the boss in a relationship with a woman that is 5 years older? Is this even possible? Like the real I am in command now. Is this even credible? I don't know. Maybe not in my world. But yeah, I mean, Erica is from a very powerful family. I think her family is more powerful than the family of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
And I think this, so she is from this powerful family and she's 5 years older. To me, it looks a bit like a cliche set up marriage to somehow keep Charlie Kirk a bit under control, also in the private life.
Like a handler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to imagine, or you have to understand that they invested millions or maybe hundreds of millions of dollars in this guy, and you want to have some kind of control over him. And what better way is there to just get him married to a daughter that controls him by just being 5 years older and being from a powerful family, and yeah. So this is what it looks like from the distance.
All right. So now the biggest question that I got on both of your videos were why. So there's a few parts to why. Why would he do it? And why
Yeah.
would everyone else do it and allow it?
Yeah, why? I mean, it is the reason that I guess people don't like. That I say he just followed an order. I think he was a social media actor, and they had to create a huge distraction. A huge distraction. And in my opinion, why this even happened, I can honestly tell you, if this has to do with the assassination at Butler, and it was debunked, it was leaked, we found the audio of the agents and Donald Trump on the podium at Butler. We found what they really said. I made a video about it. I can just show you that here on my channel page. I hope this works out now. And yeah, this one here. Here is where I explain this. And this video was posted on September 1st.
So if you get a chance, make sure you
And
go over there and check it out. A lot of people
yeah,
that
please
have
watch
seen
it.
it are like, wow, yeah.
Yeah, this will make your jaw drop. Because here in this video, if you listen to it, you will see that Butler was staged. And at Butler, a spectator died. And this is, if this becomes public knowledge, this video, if 1 million people watch this video, then the presidency of Donald Trump is over, because it was murder. Cory Comparatori was murdered by US intelligence, and the main person that benefited was Donald Trump. This means he was the instigator of the murder of Cory Comparatori. So this video was posted on September 1st. And they had to create some kind of distraction, some kind of complete distraction. And they did that very cleverly. They didn't just fake the death of Charlie Kirk. No, they faked it in a way such that it covered the exact same search terms in a search engine. In the beginning, it was attempted assassination. And then there were like hundreds of videos on Charlie Kirk still being alive in a possible attempted assassination. Okay, and then they declared him dead. And then they also covered all the search terms that said assassination fake. All of these terms, and also flag lowered, because Donald Trump lowered the flags in honor of Charlie Kirk. And not just that. Later on, we also had videos that said he was shot from the side, maybe in the ear. And then we also had the search term assassination earshot covered. So all of this, in my opinion, mainly is a search engine operation to distract.
Now when you say it was covered, you're saying that it was blocked, basically. Like if you typed it in, it wouldn't pull up that information.
Yeah, if you typed it in before the UVU shooting, the search term flag lowered led you to the Butler shooting. But if you type in flag lowered after the Kirk shooting at UVU, it will lead you to the Kirk shooting and not to Butler anymore. And this, in my opinion, is the main reason. So yeah, the audio was posted on September 1st, and they just had to create a distraction, and they had to scramble. It was within a couple of days, and they came up with this plan to fake the death of Charlie Kirk, and this is the main reason. If this audio hadn't been found at Butler, Charlie Kirk would still be playing his role and would still be posting TPUSA videos just like he did before. This is my opinion.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the next question here. We have, who was after him to make him fake his own death?
If anyone, then the IRS. So I mean, this is another huge reason, and we had this in many podcasts on the channel DD Got a Podcast. Charlie Kirk and TPUSA were financial criminals, and they violated so many laws with such big sums of money that all of them, and first and foremost Charlie Kirk, would have gone to jail for a very long time. In fact, I believe that if the world had been halfway normal in Arizona in the years before, then Charlie Kirk would have already been in jail for many years. We can see, I think there's this YouTube video by Finance Wolf. He made this a couple of...
was in finance, yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I posted a video about red flags at Turning Point USA. Among the many things I mentioned,
this video here,
Turning Point was missing 3 of...
So they never entered these files there. They were all missing. And in this video, he also explains that they sent 1.5 million to a parking lot, I think. I think he is at that parking lot. He tries to find that 110 LCC, and he can't find it.
The business is not here.
Yeah, they sent...
So
it's really funny. Watch this video here.
Do the Turning Point donors know this is how their money is being spent?
So 1.5
well,
million.
The one thing that's interesting about this video to me, so I mean, love him or hate him, right? There's Tim Pool. A lot of people have their opinions about Tim Pool and Tim Cass and that kind of stuff, but he actually went over that video and he was trying to debunk everything that guy was saying, and some of it made sense, right? So, for example, like I have an LLC. I can basically choose any address I want, any physical address to be my address. It doesn't have to be where I'm actually doing business, right? At least for the public facing. So when he says that,
This is how they explain this now? What they say? Okay, they just gave any address. I didn't even. This is how they try to explain it. So this does exist as 110 LCC, but they just made up a random address or something. Is this? I mean, these, but or
but still nothing illegal, right? That's the thing is,
it's not illegal, really.
yeah.
I think.
So I mean, so everything he says in the video, even though Wolves in Finance has all this stuff that he stacked up and all these different things that he says are weird anomalies, nothing's illegal still, right? So that's part of the issue. Like, yes, it gets people's attention, and they may like look at it closer and under a fine tooth pick or whatever, but there's nothing illegal going on yet that we know of. So
yeah, okay, maybe not that one here, but we still have the 8.5 million. We have the 8 that you reported, and we have the fundraiser scheme. So where they and yeah, I mean, we also have the memorial now. The entire memorial. How much money did they raise there? 100 million or something. And this was a memorial for a death that never happened. So this is also a huge fraud. And this is just the way they operate. And I think what we didn't mention last time, what also impressed me a lot, that the main sponsor is also Wi-Fi from TPUSA, or one of the main sponsors. I think the CEO was also right there at the shooting, right next to Kirk. And this Wi-Fi is apparently also a scam. So they target students that have a loan that is already defaulted, and then I guess they try to scam these students just to keep up the front and to also do some very intransparent financial business in the back. So yeah, and at Turning Point USA, I think there's this huge fundraiser scheme. And there's also, I mean, the problem is with Turning Point USA is they spend all this money on their personal lifestyle. I think they only gave 0.7% of the money back to some other nonprofits. But these nonprofits were also, kind of odd. So with odd purposes. And what you would imagine from TPUSA is that they spend all the money that they get for Christian purposes. So if I have, this is the way I would imagine it, if I have a nonprofit that has Christian purposes and I get $100 million, then I have to say, okay, I have to somehow send people as missionaries to some other countries, or I have to go to countries where there's famine and I have to feed the people. I have to buy tons of rice and food items just to feed people in foreign countries and, be a Christian nonprofit. And this, I guess, is how people would imagine a Christian nonprofit. But at TPUSA, they didn't do any of that. They just spend it for their personal lifestyle. They just wasted the money. And
well,
you
I
made
did
a video
today
with these whistleblowers. So they also said that people, or they somehow disadvised people from really donating the money to TPUSA, or they wanted to do that almost, or because they knew what was going on behind the scenes at TPUSA.
Yeah, we're getting to more evidence and that kind of stuff. We're trying to get through the questions because, like I said, there's another video that he actually goes over the evidence that he has and the mock cones and the physics and the Excel spreadsheet and the measurements and everything. If you want to get deep into the scientific part of it, which we can get into some of that, but that video covers it very well, and that's from yesterday. So go back and check that out. All right, so I don't know if we answered this or not. Who was after him to make him fake his own death? Did we ever answer that?
The IRS. I said the IRS. Maybe the IRS.
Okay.
Maybe Erica.
Maybe
Erica. Or who knows?
Some people.
No, that's a joke. That's a joke. I think the IRS was behind.
Okay, now what about the foreign intelligence agency side of things?
Yeah. I think
French Legion.
No foreign. Yeah, the French Legion. I don't think any foreign intelligence can really do much on U.S. soil. I would say U.S. intelligence is the most informed intelligence agency in the world, and we also have the tech corporations. I think Google is maybe the second best intelligence agency, even if Google is not officially a country. And then we have Meta and, and X. I think these are the best intelligence agencies besides US intelligence and French intelligence. First off, they don't have any intention to do that, to do anything on US soil, to not cause diplomatic controversy, because Europe wants USA as a strong partner. So there is, first of all, no motivation to do anything on US soil by any European intelligence agency. And maybe the only intelligence agencies that sometimes do things on US soil but get caught are maybe the Russian intelligence agency or the Iranian intelligence agency, from what I hear.
Now we have a lot of people in chat. They're saying that either your math is wrong or they don't believe your math. Now, I just want to point out, he can speak for himself if he wants to, but I've had several people that have emailed me directly and said that his math checks out. And we have people like this, TantraBot. Al, guys, you're super brilliant. Well done. Your calculations are spot on. However, he doesn't think that he's alive, or it's possible he's not alive. So a lot of people have already agreed with his math. They've already said that everything looks legit. They've checked him out. So, I mean, you're more than welcome. I think there's enough information in that video from yesterday that if you wanted to challenge him on something, you can crunch the numbers and look things up and try to debunk if you want.
Yeah, and I even added now I just refined it. I mean, I can also now with these stairs there in the auditorium. I mean, so I even included that to make it very precise. I think Martinson once said it is 18 inches. I think he measured it very precisely, these stairs. So this is 0.4572 meters. And recording 5, for example, was on the second stair of the auditorium. And yeah, I put that also in there. So I essentially, I have the exact height where this was filmed, and it always checks out. And I think we are, can I say something? I think we are now really at the level of reenacting this. I can really tell people, just reenact this. I had a subscriber called Steve emailing me and said he wanted to reenact it. I haven't heard back from him, but he has a huge property, and he said he just wanted to reenact it, and he wanted to send me these audio files and the video files and so on, so that I do a similar analysis. And yeah, I don't know, we have huge gun channels. I think maybe, I don't know, Matt, maybe you can also reenact this, but I don't really want to overdo it with you being so generous with me. Maybe we also have Valhalla, right? Valhalla, the gun channel, or many other gun channels. Just reenact this, and you will see the exact crack thumb patterns.
Okay, so let's address this really quick. Yeah. We have some Audio Freak questions. So does this theory go against that of Audio Freaks? Based on his video, and obviously you guys saw I had him on the channel and we did a live stream as well. Based on the way that Matt with Audio Freak is measuring and the stuff that he's come up with so far, then yes, the theories would go against each other. So what is...
Yes, unfortunately, the explanation by Audio Freak goes against standard physics. And I can just show this here. Where is it? Where do I have it?
Well, we showed it in that video from yesterday, but
yeah, you can see that, and I can just briefly show you how hard it is to really get a proper reflection angle. So what I do here in Inkscape, I can just draw one line here. That's how I do it. So then, okay, make it another color. Let's make it green. Or where is it? Yeah, okay, so now we have green. So now I take this one here, and then I copy it, paste it. Then I mirror it, and now I have the exact angle. Let's also make it touch each other. So I have, you can see this is the exact angle of incidence matching the angle of reflection. Here I also have a set square. I guess you know what I roughly mean. So I can now turn this maybe 90 degrees. Where is it? So, and here, I guess you know what I mean. This is just what you do in school, right? So this angle here must exactly match that angle here. And yeah, the problem is now that what I have seen, unfortunately, is that you cannot do something like this. Let's give this another color. So if you do something like this, let's just say, okay,
Are you able to
I
zoom in a
go,
little bit more? Yeah.
yeah, okay, sorry. So if I just take this wall here, then I can not do anything like this, because then the angle of incidence is not the same as the angle of the reflection. And this is just it. Yeah, this is. I want to be friendly. I want to be friendly. I think Audio Freak has a big motivation. I think he's very motivated. He wants to contribute, and if he just somehow tries to yeah, somehow try to reflect on this, or so, yeah, it's not overdo the word reflection. If he just tries to respect this more, if he tries to follow this principle more, let's just put it that way, the way all other physicists do, then I think this is his work will be even better. Yeah, so I think if he just considers this concept here with the angle of incidence matching the angle of reflection, then yeah, he will come to a very good conclusion. And I think his
that's
conclusion
for
will be very
anyone.
similar to mine. Yeah. But
Yeah, and that's for anyone who's measuring, because I actually made the mistake that he's talking about here. Is I drew the lines for the angles and I was moving the point to where I wanted it to bounce off of, and I was changing the physics of how the sound actually bounces. And we're not saying
yeah,
the Audio Freak is necessarily doing that, but that can affect some of the results. And since he was measuring
yeah,
many different angles and different audio sources, one
yeah.
could have gotten off.
To be precise, you don't really change the physics. This is just something that doesn't that is simply not physics. So in physics, it's always that. In classical physics, the angle of incidence is always the angle of reflection. And what I do here, we don't have the angle of incidence matching the angle of reflection, and then it is just not a drawing that has any physical meaning if I do that.
So we have Matt from Audio Freak is in the audience, and he's asking,
Oh, why? Hi, Matt. How you doing?
what is the difference between the lobe and the wavefront? I'm not sure if you're familiar with that or not.
The lobe.
Might need to be more specific.
You mean crack and thump, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure what specifically he's asking. If you want to, Matt, if you want to make that more specific, I'm not sure if he has a specific audio engineering background or not.
Yeah, wavefront. Yeah, I don't really know. So I don't. Yeah, please specify that a bit, Matt. That would be
Okay,
awesome.
so now this other question, this is very important question, and I have the same question for you. How can you explain his decorticate posture and the reaction to the shot? Now, this is huge because I've heard some people say it was a taser that was like built into the, maybe in the prosthetic, or maybe he had like a wire hooked around his toe and it shocked him, at the exact moment that the shot sound or happened or whatever it was. So what is your opinion on the decorticate posture and his reaction to the shot?
Well, we know that the bullet did never hit his brain. There was no damage to his brain. The decorticate posture typically is a result of brain damage. So what can it then be? So either it was badly acted, that he thought a person dying looks like a boxer getting knocked out. So maybe it was badly acted. Maybe it was also tasered. Who knows? Maybe he was tasered. Maybe they didn't have just the two tubes under his prosthetic. Maybe they also had a taser. This is also possible. A taser that was synced with a gunshot. Yeah, this is definitely possible. But I would say it was most likely just bad acting. But we'll never know. We'll never know. Here's where I say I cannot prove anything here, but we have these two possibilities here. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see, decorticate posture. Okay, now the other thing is, have you looked at additional positions that shots could have come from in addition
Yeah.
to this
Okay.
shot? Multi-shooter theory.
Yeah, I think I have this. What
Not necessarily instead of this shot, but in addition to, I think is what they're asking.
So I can go through the theories that we have somehow. So we have the theory by range day, bro, that you covered last time with Audio Freak.
Yep.
From that, from Kirk's right side somewhere on the roof there, and there we don't have any clear line of sight, and we also don't have any entry wound. So this one can't be it, right? Then we have the theory by Jason Goodman, which is very similar. He says it's more from behind, but also from the right. But there we also don't have an entry wound. And the artifact in the video by Jason Goodman is just too high. And it's also not in line with, or the artifacts are not in line, and the impact point on the back of Kirk's head is also too high.
So you're saying not in line with the trunk theory? Is that what you're saying?
There are 3 artifacts.
Yeah.
He gives us these 3 artifacts, and they are not in a straight line. I think the artifact would also go upwards, which is also in contrast to the physics, because if anything, the bullet should go downwards due to gravity. And the impact point is just, I think it's just too far up on the back of his head, because we have the wound on the neck. And yeah, I can just show that here. I think in Goodman's line, the impact point would be somewhere here, so it's way too far up. And with Martinson said the shot came from Kirk's left, from a white roof. But we have the same problem. We don't have any exit wound. And for Martinson, we would need a cavitation, as we saw before in this video. The cavitation always trails the bullet. So this one can't be it. And I think Ian Carroll also went there, and I think he was the first to present that the shooter on the roof proposed by Martinson would have easily been seen by all the spectators. So I think this really makes it clear that the theory by Chris Martinson is not really a good explanation. Then we have the flashbang theories, or the near front left camera theories, if I want to call them that. And the problem there is we don't have any audio observation of a flashbang or of a second close shot. We also don't really have any eyewitnesses that reported any muzzle blast or any memory, any observation of a second close shot. And then we have John Cullen's suggestion that it was more or less a drone flying.
Now, who is Cullen? I'm not familiar with Cullen.
John Cullen.
Okay, I have to look that up.
John Cullen.
He says it's a drone, though.
Yeah, John Cullen. He's the one that is missing. That is one that has gone MIA a month ago. He stopped posting on X, and he just said it was drones, and it's most likely, or I don't think he said it was a drone headshot, but he calculated a point some 80 meters in front of Kirk, and this is just the wrong calculation. So all of these theories can't be it. And the only theory, or the only 2 solutions that we have is, was it a shot into the trunk, or was it a shot at Kirk? Because all other theories don't work out. Yeah. And I worked even out these 2 possibilities. And in my opinion, where is it? What's the comparison? Let me just look it up.
So just really quick, we always honor super chats, but Dartboard is saying, can you ask him what are the 8 items he sells on Redbubble? And I assume he's referring to the political leaning in the content. But I'll just say that we don't really talk about politics here on the channel. And he is also not in this country.
I am. This is essentially just fun. This is fun. You say "Make America Gavin again." I mean, this is not a Republican or Democrat. This is just in between fun, because it makes fun of both of them. which maybe you shouldn't do, which is maybe the worst, the worst idea to make fun of both, Democrats and Republicans. But it's just making fun of politics and being trying to be funny at least. And the Make America Sulze Again, that I sold some stickers there. So here you can see the two options, one at Kirk and one at the trunk. This is what it boils down to. Yeah, and the Make America Sulze Again is because of this viral video that I had. So this was because of this video that had so many views here. And the original surname of the Trump family in Germany before the year 1695 in Germany was Sulzer. And this is why I made these. Yeah, I don't have the tab open, but on Redbubble, yeah, this is why you can also buy stickers that say Make America Sulze Again, or S .T.er again.
Yeah, so
it's just fun.
In other words, it's for fun. Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
Let's see. So we have another super chat. Thank you, Daily YouTube. It says first interview says that he was shot in the heart.
Yeah.
Now,
I think that these were these crisis actors. Yeah, I know who she's referring to. The one that said he knows George Sin and so on. This crisis actor there that said that said he was shot in the heart. Yeah, I think it's on YouTube somewhere. There's a crisis actor.
Well, and someone else said too that in theory, now this is from the ballistics experts who have been in war and that kind of stuff. They have seen situations where a shot comes in and it will hit somebody in the heart and come out of their neck or come out of the back of their head or something else, because the bullet can travel and all those type of things. That's they call them magic bullets, right? They kind of do unexpected, strange things. So that can happen. I mean, it's not unheard of.
Yeah, we can't show the photos here or the footage here, but we just can't observe that. We would see a blood drop, a droplet of blood at least where his heart is, because the heart is the biggest pump of blood, and we clearly see that the blood comes out of his neck. And I don't think he was shot in the heart. There were people who also suggested that the bullet might have bounced off some vortices in the vertebra and went down to the heart and so on. And I don't really see that happening. I think that would be a magic bullet.
All right, so we have this. Someone wants us to get you and Martinson together.
Oh.
Now I have reached out to Martinson about some of this stuff just in general over the last couple months, and I have not heard anything back. So I don't know. I know he has a pretty decent sized channel, or maybe he's just after he was on was it Crowdsource the Truth with Jason Goodman? I think he got a bad taste in his mouth. So I'm not sure if he's going to be doing these kind of shows, with other people.
Yeah, I would love to do a discussion with Chris. We can go into the details of anatomy, and I think he's very reasonable. I think aside of the cavitation, I think it was okay. I mean, for the time that he published it at. I mean, I published it way later. Chris published it maybe a couple of weeks after it happened. And for the time when he published it, so early after that shooting, I would say it was very nice. He gave nice insights into the anatomy. And he always said, it's not 99%, or it's not 100%. He always says, I never say 100%, I say 99%. And it turned out that it was really not correct. And it was very intelligent of him to say he's just 99% correct and not 100% correct, because,
Okay, so now this question here from Brian Burton. So you're saying that it hits the trunk. Now, he's saying, could it have possibly hit something in the same location or similar area, like the tunnel roof? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, of course, it is a possibility. We just don't have an observation of that, and we don't have any bullet recovered. So there would have some in this tunnel roof, or in this entire tunnel wall, maybe anywhere in the tunnel, we would see some kind of concrete shattered away from the wall or from the roof. Well, I guess the tunnel roof, I guess it can't be really the roof, because then the bullet would have needed to fly upwards again. But I think he means the tunnel wall, or somewhere on the top tunnel side wall, or because, right, if this is the tunnel roof and the bullet flies down like this, it cannot hit the tunnel roof, because then it would need to go up again. So I think he means more the tunnel side. But we would see some kind of bullet hole there in the wall then. And there simply is no bullet hole anywhere.
All right, so we had, let me see. So we got that one. So that's all the pre-questions, right? So that's all the questions we had before we started the stream. So now let's start looking at all the other ones that came in here.
Okay.
Let's see. Audio Freak, I see you're super. Let me look at my email. Let's go back to the initial questions. Okay, first question. I'll let you read it, and then you can answer it from there.
Questions. First, how do you know the shape of the mark cone if you don't know the bullet's aerodynamic drag? Well, we can simply calculate the cone. I think Matt Castor did this as well. There's a pretty simple formula, and we can do this by just assuming velocities. Yeah, we can assume, for example, the standard velocity, which is pretty much 2,500 impact velocity, or 2,500 feet per second after 127 meters. And then we can assume velocities, and then we can calculate the cones. And
it's impossible
the
to have
aerodynamic drag, you don't have to overthink it. Don't overthink it. The aerodynamic drag, there's people that say, oh, we need to know the force of the wind resistance, of the air resistance. Don't overthink it. You can look this up. This is typical. These bullets have a very typical drop in velocity. And it is typically 10% per, I don't know, 100 meters or something. And you can just use that. You don't have to calculate all these forces. And also people say, yeah, you don't know the force behind the bullet. You don't need to know that. You just go with standard velocities.
So now we had a question. Well, actually, more of a comment.
There was also a second question. I just missed that. I realized that. I only heard the first question. What was the second?
We'll go back to that here in a second. Yeah. So it's interesting. So we the video came out yesterday of your theory and your information and your science, and then we had harsh reality. A lot of you guys watch him, and you're fans of his show. So he came out and he was talking about, he basically got inspired by Al Geist's video yesterday, and he added more reasons that he also thought that Charlie possibly could have faked his death, right? And then now we have this person here saying that Valhalla VFT, after watching him yesterday, now they're starting to think that there's a possibility that he could be alive, right? So there's just, it's not just Al Geist who thinks this is the case. So a lot of people are like, oh, he's nuts, he's not alive. Well, based on the evidence so far, there's no proof that he's dead either. So, I mean, yeah, we'll just leave it there. Let's see what else we have here. Just a little compliment there for you. Let's see.
Thank you. This is
okay.
A nice
So
compliment.
it's okay. We'll address this one. Who is this guy? Where's his degree from? It's not a real name. He has lots of anti-Trump posts going back. Highly sus. Okay. So I had the same question, right?
Yeah.
I actually reached out to him directly yesterday, or was it this morning? I think it was last night.
Yesterday.
Yeah. So I said, other people, including me, were curious, like, are you really a scientist? Are you really a physicist? Do you actually have credentials to be coming out and making these claims? And of course he says, keep my name, hidden and that kind of stuff. Don't show things that are personal. But he sent me information that I can 100% say with confidence that he is published. He's done conferences and things like that. And he is a scientist. He has things that he's solved that no one else has. So I have personally seen that. So I can vouch for that piece of it. As far as degrees and that kind of stuff, I can let you speak to that if you want to, but I can just say that I asked him the same question, and I got some stuff that proves that he's legit.
Yeah, I mean, I have a pretty standard engineering degree in Germany. So I went to a university that is maybe comparable to an Ivy League university in the USA. So they have a restriction there. They let very few students study there, so it was a very hard diploma, and similar to MIT. Maybe this is where I studied. Engineering, more or less. It was even economic engineering, and later on I went into physics, and yeah, I solved an unsolved problem. Back then it was unsolved. And yeah, I published an article in a journal. And yeah, these anti-Trumpers, it is yeah, watching
Well,
Donald Trump
actually,
from the distance, it is more about fun, actually. I mean, it is just I don't even know. Listen, people, in the USA I would be a classical swing voter, so I can identify with conservative Republicans. I am not a woke person. I'm not a MAGA person. I can identify with conservative Republicans and also with how do you say? So did I say moderate Republicans and conservative Democrats? So I would be a typical swing voter. So
and
I'm
just remember
always
too,
kind of
that he's not in the U.S., so it doesn't really matter what his political affiliation is, to be honest.
And it's just I can just tell you in Germany it is just fun. It's not fun in the USA, I guess, but just with Donald Trump and also with Joe Biden or. It is not meant anti-Trump so much. It's just fun. And I guess in my first video on him that I made what the German meaning of the name Trump is. So not Sulzer, but what does Trump mean in German? I made it very clear that I don't really want to make a complete fool of him, but I somehow want to make jokes about him, but still respect him somehow. But I mean,
yeah, and in all fairness, I mean, people make fun of Trump and Biden and Obama and everyone. I mean, it's everyone's free range, right? Any mistake they make, because you have people on the right now that were 100% behind Trump, 100% MAGA when this all started within the last year, and now they're starting to jump ship. They're saying that everything's messed up, MAGA's dying. Now it's the what is it, the America First party.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. All right, we'll move on from that one. So this one here. Sorry about that. None of this guy's ideas make sense. An impressionable and idealistic young man was radicalized. He's talking about Tyler Robinson by the internet and decided to kill someone. Why is it so hard to accept something so simple? Now, this is never the case. So if you look at Butler and you look at the gentleman there who got shot, he was in commercials, and so was the guy who tried to kill Trump on his golf course. Were in commercials for BlackRock and some other companies. So it's not coincidence. It's never that simple, right? There's a trail of things that we'll never know about, that the government and different agencies, we don't know why they do it, but they've always done it. It's always been that way. So I would have to disagree on that one.
And I'm a very conformistic person. Actually, in the first days after this Kirk shooting, I actually tried to go along with Tyler Robinson being the actual culprit. I mean, you can see the posts on X, and I really wrote, okay, maybe it was just some Mormon 22-year-old dude that just shot Charlie Kirk for no reason. I actually tried to go along with it. But then you had these contradictions again, and, you know, with the bullet not exiting and all that stuff. And then later on, screwdriver text messages. And then I said, oh, wait. I guess we really have to question this now. But in the beginning, I actually tried to go along with this simple explanation. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think a lot of people did, right? They really wanted to believe it. And then just too much stuff came out where they're just like, no, there's too many loose ends. So this one here from Diz Ginger Does Snap. Has anyone seen the autopsy? Okay, so there was no, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone else in chat or guys, if you know, but there is no official publicly released viewable autopsy at this point.
And they don't have any obligation to ever release it. So they just say, oh, we have an autopsy report, and it is signed by a person or a medical doctor somewhere there is this report, but we will never show it to the public because we don't have any obligation by law. And then we can say, yeah, was there really ever an autopsy performed, or did they just forge this autopsy report? And since we can prove irrefutably that Charlie Kirk was never hit by any bullet and there was never a second shot, we can say that they forged the autopsy report. So this was a very good question. Yeah, there never was an autopsy.
And I know Brian Harpole had mentioned that he kind of alluded, right, in the Sean Ryan episode. He said, yeah, you know, they said they were going to do an autopsy, and they kind of like got ready to go to the location where they were going to do the medical examining and that kind of stuff, but he never saw it. And like you said, there's no publicly available autopsy. So did it ever happen? We don't know. He says it happened, but he didn't see it happen, and there's no official release on it.
Yeah, I guess Brian Harpo, he really, I guess, destroyed his entire credibility in this Sean Ryan interview because there's so many contradictions. Also with the doctors, what he says, how the doctors approached him, and so on, and what you just pointed out with the autopsy. This is just it was not really his best day. Let's just put it like that.
I'm just pulling up some more. Oh, you had a few things you want to talk about as well, Algeist? You can start those anytime you want, Candace and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Candace. Yeah, with the foreign intelligence, or with Candace in general. Yeah, I mean, Candace is now on Candace's channel. Now, I guess we can see that she gets a lot of views, right? She makes a stream every day. Not much new. Now they talk about some live stream drama that, oh my God, does she do a live stream with TPUSA or something? I don't even know. And we have the question, Candace, Didi got a podcast, also questioned her. She never asks, was Charlie Kirk really shot? Which she should do, I think, is a fair question. And I think we can really also assume at a certain point that Candace is maybe very much in touch with TPUSA and that all of it is an act. And I think Candace always saying that the French government tries to kill her. As I said before, no European intelligence agency has any intention of performing any operation on US soil because Europe wants USA as a strong partner, and Europeans just don't want to estrange the US American government. So I can tell you 100% sure the French government does not try to kill Candace Owens. And the next problem is that her entire claims are just so completely absurd. And on this Macron couple, what she says about this, a wife of Macron, that she should be, or Candace says that Macron's wife is a man. And this is, I don't know if this is supposed to be funny, but it is not funny. It is just, it really makes you question Candace's intelligence or her sense of humor. I mean, this is just, it makes you shrug. I mean, it really makes you say, oh, should I laugh about this or what? Right? So I don't know what Candace is all about. To me, this is all a bad joke there with Candace.
So I just put a poll out basically asking. So I wanted to do a full video on this, but I'm not going to. I'll just address it in the live stream. But people are asking my opinion on the TPUSA versus Candace live stream. So here's my thoughts. It's kind of harsh, kind of hit it on the head, right? He said that Candace, while speaking out against them, just flat out said, anytime, any place, heck, we can do it today, right? And then they give a time and a place, and she says, no, not that time and place. It has to be something that I can do, and it has to be a live stream that I can join and not in person. So, yes, you should be flexible with guests, right? Like, Algeist and I, we have to go back and forth what day works, what time works, and we have to kind of work it out. So, yes, they should do that for her. But for her to come out so bold and just say, anytime, any place, right this second, and then say, oh, no, but not then, I would say that she backed up.
This
right?
is typical. And when we exchange appointment suggestions, then it's typical just one email, right? We immediately say confirmed or something. But Gary also, I think I saw a post of Gary Melton, and he also pointed out another contradiction of her on X, that she, I don't know, with Tyler Robinson, how he turned him in, that first she was the one who said, I don't know, some family member turned him in, and then 2 weeks later she made another episode where she said, oh no, it was the media who said the family member turned him in, and how could they ever do that? I think Gary Melton made a post today on X where he pointed this out. And I also have a personal story a bit with Candace Owens. There was this smartphone video of the sniper on the roof where you can barely see the sniper. Yeah, but it's apparently 2 college students that say, "Ooh, look, there's a sniper just ran in, and yeah, here you can see the tip of my finger," and so on. So this video, and Candace said, "Ooh, they contacted her, and then she found out who really took that video, and it was, and she talks like 10 minutes back and forth. that she had to contact someone in Chicago, but it was not easy. And this person had to contact another person in Chicago, and this person had to contact another person in Chicago. And it's so strange because Chicago is so far away from Utah. And it was, such a long process to get to that person. And then she talked to that person. Yeah. So, and then what I did, I just went on X and I just contacted that person that posted this smartphone video, and I asked him something about Chicago. I wrote something like, how about your friends in Chicago? How are they doing? And this guy wrote back and said, what are you talking about? I don't know anyone in Chicago. Something like that. Yeah. And then I wrote back, Candace just made a video on that. And then this guy blocked me or something. Yeah, it was something like that. And then at this point, I realized I should not really spend my time with Candace Owens because this woman is a bit, I think they call it baloney. Yeah. I think she's a professional gossiper. She makes up a lot of stories and she contradicts herself so much. And I don't have time to waste.
Now, there's always a chance that she will come out with some stuff that just lights the world on fire and proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that she's correct and everyone else is wrong, and that, TPUSA had him killed and that kind of stuff. The chance of that happening is probably pretty slim.
I would also say that, yeah.
But what's going to happen if it doesn't? What if that doesn't pan out? I mean, are people going to be like, oh, well, she was just wrong. She's just an investigator. Give her the benefit of the doubt. She was just concerned about Charlie. But she's dividing the right, the political party on the right. She's had several people have death threats and stuff like that. So, I mean, this isn't just like her opinion and she's kind of just like talking to her audience. I mean, she's had people threaten to be killed. Not her personally, right? But her making insinuations about stuff have made people targets.
Yeah, I think she's a bit off the rails in general, but she's enjoyable to watch. But
right,
I mean,
so
she's
she's entertaining at the least. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this is interesting. The number of people it would take to pull this off, something this magnitude, is astronomical.
Not really. It's just like at Butler. At Butler, it was just some 15 people. And you have to realize that all of them are ex-CIA people, ex-Marines, so they know how to keep their mouth shut. Maybe you can remember the movie A Few Good Men with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, and Code Red or something. So this is Code Red land where they come from. They keep their mouth shut. And at Butler, we have the audio file, and for a very long time, people constantly ask this. Do you know how many people would need to be involved in such a huge conspiracy? Hundreds of people would be required. And it turned out, no, it's just some 15 people. It was maybe some 10 agents on the stage, some 3 local cops, and maybe 2 or 3 remote IT guys. And that was it. And if they all keep their mouth shut, then it always remains a secret unless the audio gets leaked. Then it is really a proof that it only requires 15 people. And it's the same at the UVU. I think the entire security team is in on it. They are also ex-CIA people, ex-Marines, and so on, know how to keep their mouth shut. And then you also have the people in charge. Frank Turek, the YRFI boss, Charlie Kirk, they are also in on it, and they also keep their mouth shut because they also have this huge financial incentive. You have to realize if someone pays you 100 grand or $1 million just to keep your mouth shut, then they keep their mouth shut. This is always what fascinates me so much. And I have to address this here because it's mostly people on the political left, I have to say this that hard, that always say, where are the whistleblowers? Where are the whistleblowers? These Marines and CIA people, they keep their mouth shut. There are no whistleblowers. You don't have to wait for a whistleblower. They don't have any motivation to go to some kind of left-wing journal or someone and to blow the whistle. Like no one of them goes to the New York Times and just blows the whistle and just spills the truth there.
We just remember too that military. I have friends. I have a lot of friends in the military. A lot of them. A lot of people I've worked with. People that have been on TriggerSmart and done firearms trading and stuff with me in videos. And these people, I mean, they'll tell you they basically belong to the government. They're government property, and they sign away their life. That's why they can get sent away to war and killed. So what makes you think they would be dumb enough to come out and say something and put their life in danger like that?
Yeah.
All right. So we have this question here. Did you analyze any other shooting positions?
Yeah, we can repeat this here. I think I just did that. I made a bit of a collection, what I
Yeah, I
call
think
solutions. So
yeah,
all
I
the
would
others, I mean, the main problem is we don't even have an entry wound. So no, or we have an entry wound, but then we don't have an exit wound. So for these shooting positions from the right side or from behind, we would need an entry and an exit. We don't have that. So this is one huge problem. And then we have the other problem that for Chris Martinson's position, everyone would have seen that shooter. And for the short range suggestions like flashbang or something, we don't have any audio signature. So this only leaves this shooting position at allegedly Tyler Robinson's position. I say it was not Tyler Robinson. I say it was a sniper by US intelligence, but it leaves this alleged sniper position of Tyler Robinson because people can identify this position as Tyler Robinson's position because they think it was Tyler Robinson on the roof. I'm not saying it was Tyler Robinson. I think this was someone different.
All right, so we have this one here from Deborah Serrano.
Yeah.
Medical records at 2 separate hospitals are highly suspicious. Different charting systems that do not communicate with each other. Both hospitals should not have charts on him. I am an RN. That's interesting.
A nurse.
And thanks for the super chat.
Nurse. Yeah.
And just real quick,
I think it means nurse. Oh.
Yep. So anyone that's in here, we definitely appreciate you watching, obviously. If you could hit that like, it helps support the channel. And let's jump to, let's see. Well, okay, this is interesting. So say this was all pre-planned and Charlie faked his death and all these people were involved. She's Paula Miley is saying Charlie would not let a 23-year-old kid face life in prison or death if found guilty. So what about Tyler?
Okay, I have to read that again. So Charlie would not let a 23-year-old kid face life in prison or death if found guilty. So what about Tyler? Yeah, but this is... I think Charlie just followed an order and he didn't care. If Charlie was a hero, then he would have said, no way, there's no way that Tyler Robinson is going to die a senseless death due to a death penalty because I fake my death. Yeah, if Charlie had been a hero, then this is what he have said when he had received the order to fake his death. But Charlie didn't say that. Charlie said, okay, well, I fake my death, then I get a new face and a new identity, and I got all my bills paid for the rest of my life, and I just don't care about Tyler Robinson.
Well, and now this goes along with that same thing, right? There's zero evidence Tyler shot anyone. Now, there is a chance, there is a big chance that the FBI could have a picture of Tyler Robinson or a video of him, actually, like 4K video, because there were cameras definitely on the roof in that area. They could have a video of him pulling the trigger and shooting, but no one has seen that yet. So until that comes out,
this entire Tyler Robinson, I mean, we only have 2 photos in this tunnel there, right? And why in the world would Tyler Robinson even walk through this tunnel? If he can just make a quick detour, like there is a fence. Carol showed this in his video, that there is a fence and it just blocks somehow the direct crossing of the street for some 100 meters. And this should then make people go through the tunnel. But let's face it, if he knows that there are cameras there, why doesn't he take a detour? Why doesn't he take a detour of some 100 meters to the right and then 100 meters back? So he goes 100 meters to the right, walks around that fence, crosses the street, and then goes 100 meters back. Isn't this the intelligent solution to the problem of avoiding cameras taking your photo, right? When you want to commit a murder, when you want to shoot someone from a roof and you try to not be filmed by any camera. I mean, maybe we can pull this up on Google Maps now. Maybe
that's a great point. That's a great point.
So here, I have it here. So here, Carol made this video. Here's the tunnel. Here's the tunnel.
Okay.
So here's the tunnel. And I think Carol said this fence is that long.
You talking about Ian?
Ian Carroll. Yeah, Ian Carroll, of course, Ian Carroll. And Ian Carroll walked up to this position here and he really said, you cannot somehow easily go around that fence here. He showed that in his video. And then this entire fence goes down here, but this is where it ends. in the tunnel goes, crosses the street here. So why in the world would Tyler Robinson, when he walks down this road, why would he not go this way? Cross the street, around the fence, and then walk up here, completely relaxed, and avoid these two cameras. So you have to see, this is the way that Tyler Robinson came, right? This is what they want to make us believe. Tyler Robinson walked down the street, somewhere here, and then he had no chance but to walk through this tunnel and get filmed by these two cameras. But why in the world didn't Tyler Robinson just go this way? Why not? To avoid getting filmed by the cameras. Because the fence goes from here to here. That's everything.
I also covered something that was talking about someone who saw someone. They called the FBI twice. I think it was 2 weeks before the shooting. They called the FBI twice and said that there's someone on the roof and wanted them to look into it. My question for Tyler would be, if I was in court, I would say, if you, especially if you went ahead and scouted that position ahead of time, clearly he saw the cameras. He knew 100% if he took that shot that he would be found out and he'd go to jail. 100%.
Yeah.
Whoever was up there's no mask, whether it was him or someone else. So why would he be that dumb to put himself in front of 4K cameras for the world to see? So unless he did this as kind of like a suicidal death mission, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it does not make sense. I don't. Some people say in this day and age, these photos could also be AI generated. First of all, then there's other people say no, these are real photos, but it shows a different face. Maybe this was a different actor. And if it was Tyler Robinson, then he's a student. Maybe someone just gave him $100 and said, you know what, wear sunglasses and a cap and walk through the tunnel, and I give you $100. And he did it because he was just dumb enough to do that.
Or he could have been threatened, right?
Or threatened, yeah. Blackmailed or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Sylvana Barberi, thank you for the super chat. We also have This Ginger Does Snap Again. Someone will break soon. The pressure is too much. Yeah, I mean, it's starting to get to the point where either something's going to break or it's going to be swept under the rug. One of the two. That's kind of how they do it.
Oh, they're sweeping under the rug hard. They're sweeping hard. I mean, the view counts of our videos also, my videos, and you can tell that they are sweeping under the rug, yeah. But I always hope that there's responsible people. And what I always hope is that that people at journals and at maybe also at social media platforms somehow want to prepare the public to what really happened, and that little by little they give our videos or my videos more audience over time. But maybe this might not even happen. Maybe they want to keep this under the rug to avoid getting attacked by US government. Maybe, who knows?
All right, so I just want to address this one here really quick. Eric Hicks, amazing how this went from physics to shaming Candace. This isn't an I'm not anti-Candace at all. In fact, I've reached out to her about some of the stuff and want to talk to her about a few different things. Candace, if you're out there, I'd love to talk to you, but it's not if you want to talk about shaming Candace, Paramount Tactical just did an entire video, I believe it was yesterday, talking about all the things wrong with everything she said, trying to debunk her, saying she's crazy, and he's had multiple guests on. That would be shaming Candace. I'm just saying that. So if I come out and I say Algeist, I'll fight you anytime, anywhere. And you say, what about tomorrow at 2:00? And I say, well, no, actually, tomorrow at 2 doesn't work for me because I have brunch. So I can't do that. That's all I'm saying. It's just, if you're going to talk the talk, then back it up. That's all I'm saying. Let's see.
Yeah, and people also have to understand. I mean, just watch the view counts of Candace videos and our videos, and compare the content. And what is really annoying is that Candace doesn't really deliver for the amount of views she gets. So this is for the rest of creators is a bit annoying. But I enjoy Candace sometimes. She's really enjoyable and entertaining. But when she when she doesn't tell the truth, then we point it out. That's just what we do.
All right, so we have one question. Let's see. It's not on the screen. It's
I can read it. I think. Or Sherlock always insisted. Is it this one?
No, this is just a comment. The one I have is from an email.
Okay.
If the shot came from the Losi, why is there no reflection from the main wall behind Charlie Kirk, the Hall of Flags?
Oh yeah, this is 2 for up. Or this is he behind him is the tunnel. Or yeah, his I don't know what we don't have a. The smartphone recording is not where Charlie Kirk is. The smartphone recordings are not where he is. So the smartphone recordings are more to the side, or so, for example, smartphone recordings 2 and 5 are to his right side, 7 is to his left side. And there is, 1 and 13 is directly in front of him. But yeah, this just goes through the tunnel. And the tent is not rigid concrete. So you need a very rigid and smooth surface to get an echo. This is best. And the tent, this is something like a textile, or this is something like how do you call this? Plastic, or how do you call it? Plastic curtain almost, the backside of the tent. And you don't get an echo. When where do I have this? So this is the backside of the tent, and well, the sound signal comes along, and instead of bouncing back, the tent just starts to swing and absorbs that. Yeah, so this backside of the tent is not really great at reflecting an echo. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just reading some of these. Chat is crazy right now. There's wow, yeah, some things they're saying about Charlie. Now, I never watched Charlie. I saw him a few times on shows here and there, but I never, I never went out of my way to watch him, and I wasn't a fan or not a fan. But I'm hearing a lot of strange things coming out lately about just him in general and the company in general, and like Tyler Boyer being, homosexual, and just different things that are just crazy, and then like sexual harassment allegations and all kinds of stuff at the company. That's not for this stream, but yeah, there's definitely some stuff going on there.
And it's funny that we never heard any of this before 9/10, right?
Yeah,
we never heard anything. Now we have all this new information about TPUSA and Charlie Kirk. Yeah.
Sherry Montgomery, thanks for becoming a channel member. Let's see. Money isn't the motivation in this PSYOP. What do you think the motivation is?
Oh, it is money. It is money. It's big money. The U.S. government. This is all about money. It's all about money. I mean, this has changed a lot. I mean, just the political decisions of the U.S. government have affected the financial life of people, not just in the USA, everywhere. They're deeply affected. And there are people, right? For example, prices for groceries, or cryptos named by, I think, Melania, that just drop in value, like, I don't know, 99% or something. I don't know. Yeah. So, and these people lose money and people make money. And it is about money. It is about big money. And it's not just TPUSA. TPUSA is maybe $100 million, but distracting from the debunk of the Butler staging. Imagine that. If this Butler audio becomes public knowledge, that Donald Trump forgot who to pump the fist to while they shot people in the crowd for him, then his presidency is over. And a lot of people will lose a lot of money because Donald Trump makes decisions that make certain people very rich, and I'm talking billions here, and other people very poor. It's all about money. All about money. This is about staying in power to earn more money. This is all this is about. And TPUSA was just a pawn in this game. And Charlie Kirk also, even though they were $100 million net worth or something, they were still just a pawn.
Well, and I talked about Operation Arctic Frost as well, where they were targeting Republicans, and they specifically, when I say they, I'm talking about the FBI, I believe it was, specifically targeted TPUSA. So how do we know there aren't agents inside TPUSA working there, acting like they're just regular everyday employees?
Yeah, I mean, TPUSA, and it is a very, I think it is kind of strange. Yeah, I saw this clip that you presented, and I think it is a MAGA, or it is an asset anyway of a political agenda. I don't want to say Republican Party, but maybe of MAGA a bit. It is just a pawn of certain people. So someone had the power to really say, you know what, Charlie Kirk, you're now gonna fake your death, and you're just gonna do it, or I will disclose public information about you that you don't want to have published. And I'm talking something like Epstein videos about Charlie Kirk. I think he was blackmailed. And people always think, oh, Charlie Kirk was such a powerful leader. Listen, they invest in people only if they have control over them. There is a reason why nobody invests $1 billion in me, because they don't have any videos of me where I do some very criminal stuff. That just doesn't exist. I never did that in my life.
Well, not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, I think I'm a bit. Yeah, I don't think I will ever do that. But with Charlie Kirk, listen, they record people secretly, like in Epstein Island. They record them secretly. They do things, and then they keep this footage of them, and they blackmail them forever, and they control them forever. And I think they also have footage on Charlie Kirk, and this is the power that they have. That they can say, you know, Charlie Kirk, I don't care if you're 100 million net worth. If you don't do what I say, I'm just going to publish this footage. And you have to remember one thing. I think Charlie Kirk was from a conservative family. And maybe his parents are now very happy that Charlie Kirk allegedly died a hero. And yeah, maybe his parents wouldn't have been so happy if some very compromising videos of Charlie Kirk had surfaced. I don't think they would have been happy. And Charlie Kirk said, okay, you know what? I don't care about TPUSA. I'm just going to fake my death. Just don't publish this footage. Because this is the main pattern. This is maybe where it all gets connected a bit with, Epstein. And this is just the entire way this works there. This is all about control. And the easiest way to control a person is to blackmail a person. And to all, I mean, Donald Trump is not going to get reelected anyway, but I have to tell you here that Donald Trump is maybe one of the worst people to get elected as a president, because he's just so easy to blackmail just by everyone, just by all political sides. They all have something on him, and they all
Easy
can push
target.
him in a direction. Yeah. So the Russians say we have footage of him with, you know, girls in Moscow and golden showers, and the Israelis say, yeah, we have the footage of him on Epstein Island, and you know, others say we have footage of him doing things in New York where we recorded him, and everyone can just blackmail this guy, and it's just a complete theater then. And I'm not anti-MAGA, I'm not anti-Trump. This is almost funny if it wasn't so horrible with these, if it didn't have these horrible consequences for so many people. But the way he gets blackmailed by everyone, this is, wow. I mean, he changes his opinion 10 times a day, and it's not because he's just somehow dim-witted. No, because he has to change his opinion, because they make him change his opinion by always telling him, you know, we also have something on you, and you better change your opinion back, or else we will publish it. Yeah.
Now, Deborah Serrano, thank you for becoming a channel member. We have this question here for you. Can you rule out a second shot through audio analysis?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I can. I hope I have this here. I can just show something here. Where is it? Stream 3. I just have to get the correct one so that we have it. Yeah, here it is. We can go do that in full screen. Yeah, here we have the entire. I can do this in complete full screen. We have audio tracks here, and we can see that there simply is that there is no sign of a second shot anywhere. There simply is none. Yeah, we have here crack thump. So here, for example, here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack. The thump is here, 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 here. Then we have reflections. This is a reflection. This is a reflection. So the reflections from here and here. Then yeah, we have another reflection. This one from here to here to this microphone. Here we have a reflection from here to here to this microphone, and so on. Here we have another reflection. This one from here to here. So we can completely pin this down, and we don't have any sign of a second shot anywhere.
And for those who aren't familiar with audio engineering, so just some background on me. I was an audio engineer for many years. We had a recording studio and that kind of stuff. So looking at the waves and measuring and that kind of stuff, I'm pretty familiar with. But basically, sure, you can hear it. You can hear the gunshot, but you can also see it, right? So if there was other shots, you would see other peaks.
Of course.
Yeah, you see other peaks in the audio. It'd be very obvious. So based on that alone, based off all these other recordings, there were like 40, I think it was like 40 plus recordings. None of them seemed to show two shots.
Yes, this is so. There was no second shot, really. I haven't heard of anyone involved in this discussion that said he might have found something like a second shot. There is no one saying this, and there really is no sign at all of a second shot.
Hey, we have a Tucker Carlson CIA agent here. Everyone hit the like button. Thanks for the super chat. I didn't know we'd get Tucker Carlson in here. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, hello, Tucker. Yeah, thanks for the like. Yeah, Tucker, why didn't you? Tucker made a documentary on Butler, right? Lately. Tucker, why didn't you include the original audio? Why not?
All right, let's
Thank
see.
you.
Let me
Thank you
read
for
this
the
before I put
compliments.
it up.
Walker Wiley Consulting.
All right, let's see. See, Bunzi, thanks for the super chat. Kansas said that he knew he would be killed tomorrow. So the day before he died, so September 9th. Should we be reading something more into this? There was a plan. So, yeah, apparently TPUSA, some of the people she says received texts that said that he texted and said he knew he would die the next day. So if that was true, this is just, just my thoughts immediately. Why would he go? If he knew he was going to die the next day, why would he do the event? Why wouldn't he just cancel? It doesn't make any sense. Now it could be his faith. He could have such strong faith.
Yeah.
He's just like, this is where God put me. This is what I have to do. I'm going to do it anyway. That could be possible. But I know if you tell me right now, if I walk outside tomorrow, I'm going to get shot in the face, then I'm not going to go outside that day.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it was kind of smart of him just canceling his life insurance, right? should we show that? Have you read this article here?
I did not.
So with this GGLC there, with this that paid $350K split dollar, they put it on inactive on September 7. It's no joke, people. So with this life insurance there, GGLF.
So they're saying that he canceled his life insurance?
Yeah, they canceled it. They just let it run out. Right? You have this video here where he says, "Oh,
wait, so you're saying
all the files were missing. All the files were missing."
Wait a second. So I want to make sure you're not saying that Charlie canceled it. You're saying the company canceled it.
Yeah, it's very weird. No one really knows what happened. It was set on inactive on September 9. And what I noted here is that he writes this in his article that with this GGLF, that it ran out. They should have filed something on May 25, just like all the just like all the others, and it was missing. And then at a certain point, it was just put on inactive. This is the life insurance here.
I have not seen this.
Maybe Brian, the auditor, cares about this. Yeah, Didi got a podcast. If you watch this, tell Brian, the auditor, about this.
Huh. Okay.
And on the question is, that did he plan this? Well, I can just let it here. Did he plan this? Yeah, well, maybe he planned, or maybe he knew he was going to die tomorrow. Intelligent as he is, he put his life insurance on inactive 2 days before.
Interesting. Okay, so now I have a question. So a lot of people are talking about Mike McCash. There's I'll let you talk about it deeper and show the video or whatever you want to show. But just to give the audience kind of some background, there's a gentleman named Mike McCash. He's a well-known Hollywood special effects expert, and he was in the crowd. He was there that day that happened, and with all these theories and information that show that maybe it was like a prosthetic and that kind of stuff, and was like special effects to fake his death, allegedly, or something similar. The fact that guy happened to be there is very suspicious.
Yeah. So maybe you can show a picture of video 7 where he is, but there's blood in there. So maybe in the beginning.
Yeah,
But
we don't want to show that one.
This guy stands in the inner security area. So this is this guy here. Maybe if you share my screen here, this guy here, you can see him later on. And many people argue that this is Mike McCash. So this guy here, because it's the same height. So this guy is kind of short. Charlie Kirk was 6'4". So the height would match. And the beard would match and everything. And this guy is a makeup artist. And he can just make himself look like an older guy by just dyeing his hair, wearing a cap and sunglasses. And then you have a makeup artist specialized in neck wounds. So I blurred that out here. But this guy is specialized in neck wounds. And he's in the inner security area. And why would they do that? Yeah, maybe if there's something wrong with the prosthetic, with this
He would have
silicon
to patch it up.
layer that Charlie Kirk had here, if there was something wrong with it, maybe if it ripped or something, then I think this guy would have ran there and would have just fixed it. This is why he was there. I think this might really be Mike McCash. But I have to say, Mike McCash with makeup. So he would have needed to dye his beard, put on sunglasses, and use makeup to conceal himself. But from the height, this might be him.
Now, even aside from the makeup and stuff and him making himself look older, I've heard from a lot of other sources have said that he was there, period. Like in whatever form he was there.
Yeah. And this, I blurred this out here, but this actor, this is a gunshot wound. So you can maybe just, make a still frame here and type in this YouTube URL, and you can see that he makes a video on how to fake a neck wound in a slasher movie. This is what he presents, and this guy was there in the inner security area, most likely. Yeah.
All right, we have a super chat from Alley Top Files.
Okay.
Still on the fake hands in the coffin. Why did Erica film a video with a mic on beside the coffin? So, in other words, if she's grieving her husband, why is she doing a photo op with a wireless mic and all that kind of stuff? And then when they lifted Charlie, the freedom letters disappeared. Yeah, there's some anomalies and stuff you see in some of the videos. No blood. Now, I've seen pictures with blood from, what was it, McClintock? McClintock has some images where it looks like there's definitely real or fake blood as Charlie's being carried out. Let's see, when I come on, yep. So she's possibly going to be coming on as well to do a live stream of her own. She has some evidence and things that kind of point the same direction. But as far as the fake hands in the coffin, But as far as the fake hands in the coffin, that's newer to me, Ali. So we can discuss that a little bit deeper. But thanks for the
what she wants to say is that's a puppet, and it's really conspicuous how small the hands are of Charlie Kirk. And there's couples on X where they say, okay, the husband is like also 6'6", and the woman is 5'3", and they compare their hands, and you can really see in these X pictures how small the hand of the woman looks. And Charlie Kirk was 6'4". So there are these pictures on X where Erica Kirk puts her hand on Charlie's hand, and they look the similar size. They look similarly big. And I laughed when I saw this, because I thought, why didn't they just make the hands of the silicone puppet bigger? I mean, this is so obvious. And then they film the hands right in full screen. And yeah, but this is just a silly mistake that they made.
I am muted. Savannah Barberia, thanks for the super sticker. Okay, so yeah, good question. Wait, so life insurance won't be paid out? Well, if they let the life insurance lapse, then it's not going to be paid.
Yeah, I can show it again. So here, this is an article on Substack. It looks really credible. And yeah, Brian, the auditor, look into it, please. It was inactive on September 9. They're not going to pay that. I can let it be here. I can let this stay. And I think the reason why they did this, I think he knew he had to fake his death, and he knew that someone might find out, and then this would have been the biggest life insurance fraud in US American history. And they would have all gone to jail for over 30 years. And what I also think is it might also be the security company, because this entire, or the life insurance security company telling Kirk to make it inactive because they didn't want to pay out these 24 millions, because this entire split dollar, $350K annual, was just essentially just a financial trick anyway. So this was just a way to give money to this insurance company. Money that was supposed to be at a nonprofit organization. I think this might also be the life insurance company that gave Charlie Kirk the order to put this on inactive. Yeah.
Okay, so because I've seen a few of these, can everyone in the chat do me a favor? Or can a few people at least, can you verify that Algeist's YouTube channel is in fact there? Because some people are saying it got pulled.
It is. It's still there, guys.
Do a
Algeist
refresh. Do a refresh on that one.
Refresh? Yeah, I do a refresh.
Okay, it's still there.
Yeah.
So now let me verify the link is correct in the description, because people are saying they can't get to your channel with that link. Let's see. Let me post it again. All right, I've reposted this channel. It is in the description, so you should be able to see it now for anyone that's trying to get over there and subscribe or check out his videos.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, thanks for checking out my channel, guys.
All right, let's look at some more of these questions. Someone says the audio analysis solidifies the evidence.
Yes, harsh reality. I saw harsh reality's videos, and in the end, in my opinion, it is a very good video. If you watch this harsh reality, it is a very good video that you made. But in the end, I think he starts a bit nitpicking by saying, yeah, what is evidence and what is proof? And I can tell you, my proof is proof. This is irrefutable. We can recreate this. We can recreate the shot. If we put up these smartphones exactly they were on 9/10, 100 times in a row, it will be the same recording 100 times in a row. Because this is classical physics, and this is proof. This is proof, and it's irrefutable.
Tucker Carlson, CIA agent, still active there. Tucker's obviously CIA limited hangout.
Yeah.
Thanks for the super. We appreciate it.
Tucker exposed Tucker. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I actually don't know much about this topic, but I've heard that Tucker's dad was CIA, and anytime anyone brings it up, he just loses it. He's not happy about people talking about it.
Oh, good to know. Well, Tucker, I will never bring it up.
Someone's Michael Sanchez says so much more receipts than Candace. Let's see. Best theory I've heard. Let's see.
Oh, thank you. Devil Dog, 4K. Teufelhunden, 4K. Yeah.
Come on, I bled more from a paper cut.
Really? So, a bigger blood fountain? Really? I mean, they pushed that blood out hard, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, go over to his channel, like, subscribe, watch his videos. He's in the works. You're also working on what's your big project? It's about free will.
Free will, yeah. My project is free will. I wanted to do this for a very long time, and I made these all these videos to grow an audience. And here, so in the beginning, I made them to grow an audience, but then I noticed just these irregularities in these staged shootings. And I made a lot of videos on US politics, but yeah, I'm kind of tired of it. Actually, I made videos on Trump, more or less, with Trump in the thumbnail for over a year now, and I'm kind of tired of Trump. So, but I guess I hope I don't think I'm going to make a video on this National Guard shooting because there's essentially no footage there, right? And I think Harsh Reality said today, yeah, well, if Charlie Kirk wanted to fake his death, why didn't he just fake some kind of car crash without anyone filming him? Yeah. And why did they make it such a huge media fallout? And in the National Guard shooting, we essentially don't have any footage, right? We only have a bit of a security cam from above, but that's about it. Or someone driving by a bit, and that's about it. And I think this is, now I have people, you would not imagine how important these videos are, because, and also how important the podcast is that I have done with Matt last time, because I think they directly reacted. Now, in the end of this video, I asked the question, who are they going to fake kill next? Is it JD Vance or Joe Rogan? And this video was posted on November 11. And do you know what happened on, when was it? On November 15, I think. You know what happened then? Yeah, something very big happened. They needed to make a distraction. And what was the distraction? It was Bubba. Bubba, which is a couple of days later. And it completely distracted all the attention again. Yeah, they distracted the attention from the debunk video of the fake Kirk murder from November 11 with Bubba. And there was no reason that they had to just disclose this Bubba. They could have just, scrubbed it off. Why did they even, this Bubba page, they could have just left it out. Why did they even publish this? To distract the attention from something, obviously. From what? Yeah, from this video here. And then the two of us, we made this podcast, right? I think it was on November 24. And then a couple of days later, first of it got some 20,000 views, 30,000 views. Could have gone big, could have gone viral. 2-3 million would have been possible. Didi said it, would have deserved it, right? Didi said it would have deserved millions of views, our podcast. But it didn't receive these views. Why? Because a couple of days later, there was another thing distracting the attention, and that was the National Guard shooting. And many people say there are a lot of irregularities in the National Guard shooting, right? Essentially, we have a CIA guy. Maybe it was a naked CIA guy. Who knows? He's naked in the pictures. Nobody knows when exactly he became naked. What did he wear? I guess we have to assume that he was clothed, but that he wore clothes. But and then this CIA guy shoots 2 National Guards, and there's hardly any footage. But there's a huge outcry because they orchestrated again, and they say, "Ooh, of course we need more National Guard," which is completely illogical because, okay, a CIA guy shoots 2 National Guards, and why on earth would you then increase the National Guards to have more CIA agents shoot them, or what? Like, this doesn't make any sense at all. But this was just a distraction, and it was a distraction, I believe, from the podcast of Matt and me, because this was the first time that this content with these debunking of the stagings of Butler and UVU reached an audience of 10K plus viewers. And they had to scramble again. They had to distract the attention again. And this is what they did. But I think they are really dimming down. They are slowing down because this National Guard shooting is I mean, there is an outcry, but it's not this huge outcry like with the Kirk shooting where everyone was just crazy. With the National Guard shooting, it's, yeah, people are concerned about security and so on. But overall, it's slowing down. The entire discussion is slowing down. So, yeah, this is the times that we live in, people. This
Did you want
entire
to
content gets really.
Did you want to address this one? Our guys just keeps creating his own narrative. Candace brings receipts.
Candace brings. Listen, my own narrative. Listen, people. It's exactly the opposite. Please don't turn it around. Now, I told you what I do. So I go here. I check out these files that everyone can access. Then I put them into Audacity. Where's the Audacity clip? Is it somewhere here? Here. Then I put them in here. Or we also have this overview. Then I put them into Audacity. And then I create this Excel table with calculations.
And it's 100% reproducible. I told you, you can reproduce the shot 100 times in a row, and it will always yield this result all the time, just all the time. And you say that Candace brings receipts? Do you know that Gary Melton just debunked her today? Like you said, you made a long video. I only saw that portion on X. When does Candace bring receipts? You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me, honestly. This is receipts. This is receipts here. This is reproducible.
And like
Candace
I said,
bring receipts. No,
yeah,
Candace. I mean, Candace is enjoyable, but bringing receipts is not the strength of Candace. I also like watching Candace. She is enjoyable. I like watching her smile and so on. Yeah, I also watch her maybe like 10 minutes or something, and until I have enough. But she's entertaining. She's enjoyable, but bringing receipts is not the strength of Candace Owens.
I think we need to define receipts. So I did a video where I was talking about the receipts that she's brought. So I think as an audience, I think as a social media, everyone needs to agree on what receipt means. So evidence that goes nowhere is not a receipt, right? The receipt is evidence that actually leads to something. It goes from a destination to another destination that says, that's why Charlie's dead. This is who did it. I have proof. They flew from here to here to here. They shot, and now he's dead. That would be a receipt. Now, I can sit here, like, for example, like on her show yesterday, she said something about guys with maroon shirts. She said there's these guys in the audience with maroon shirts. They're highly suspicious.
Yeah,
and then that
typical,
was it.
Typical.
And then that was it. That's not a receipt. I can do that all day long. That's just speculation. So be very careful with me or anyone. Me, L Guys, Candace, Ian Carroll, all these different people. Be very careful that what you listen to when they say things, right? Like, this is information that he's proven. And of course, you know, this is his theory. This is not my theory. There's other people I've had on that have had other theories. I've talked about like the necklace theory going into the neck and that kind of stuff. But to me, you know, 99.9% of it is all just fake receipts. And I see a lot of that with Candace and other people, to be honest. But that's why I haven't touched certain topics, because I don't believe in them. I don't believe they have any validity whatsoever. And then the more far-reaching theories I talk about because they're interesting. They interest me.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave it at that. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Why didn't Kirk's neck heal like Trump's ear? I'm not sure.
It did. Didn't it? I'm pretty sure it did. I don't think he has any scar there.
Yeah, Candace tells you she has receipts. No one's seen them. Yeah. Now, again, like I said, I have nothing against Candace. If something pans out, I have her back and all that kind of stuff, but I just haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, but I think I watched Tim Pool also. I'm not saying I completely agree with Tim Pool here, but he says that it's essentially you can see the pattern. And Candace she really uses these social engineering patterns. She sells information. She never delivers anything. She always makes people wait for things, but she never delivers. And no one knows why people actually watch her. I think the only reason why people watch Candace is because she has over 1 million views per video. But where do these views even come from? Her content does not really justify that in any way. And just watch this Tim Pool video that he made. And he debunks it very well. He explains it very well. For example, what she did on Thanksgiving, the way he explained it, you know, Candace wanted to go on a Thanksgiving break, but she doesn't tell the audience. What does Candace do instead? Candace said, "Ooh, someone wants to kill me, and it's a foreign intelligence agency, and I have to go in hiding for a couple of days. And let's pray for me, or let's hope that I can be back here on my podcast," and so on. And this is typical Candace. Typical. Like exaggerating things. And also when she says people at the White House have informed her, then this can mean that Candace just read a tweet from the White House. Yeah, she constantly misrepresents what actually happened
and she misinterprets things on purpose. She uses all these completely standard social engineering patterns. It's textbook social engineering. That's Candace.
And I'm muted again. We have a super chat here from Jesse Davis. Thank you for that. If this is all true, Butler Charlie this is a huge scam where the mainstream media and Democrats, they would give anything to have this be real and take down MAGA, America First Conservative Party.
It is all real. That Butler was staged. The Kirk shooting was also staged. So this is a huge scam. And I can roughly understand what Jesse wants to say. Where's the mainstream media? Yeah, they don't want to touch it because Trump can fire hosts of TV shows. Yeah, when I inform people on this Butler debunk with the audio the first days, and people ask me, why isn't this on the mainstream media? Why not? And I couldn't answer. I said, yeah, why isn't that? Because they're so afraid. They're so afraid. They're too afraid to show it. And there's another huge problem with Butler is that it was Biden. It was the Democrats. Mind that. It was Joe Biden who said nobody must investigate Butler. I mean, the biggest joke of all is that Butler happened when the Democrats were still in charge. Yeah? Biden could have investigated it. Kamala Harris could have investigated it. I mean, Kamala Harris made a TV debate with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump had already combed this hair, or it's his right ear, the hair over his right ear to show his ear and so on without the scar. And Kamala Harris didn't even address this in the TV debate. So their TV debate was early September, I think, last year. I made a video on it. And she didn't even address it. And the Democrats were still in charge. Why didn't they just investigate this? Or this Margaret Cheadle there, this former director there? She also didn't investigate it. Why didn't they do that? There's a lot of people that say, yeah, you know, is there maybe some kind of deep state, or is it is there some kind of kingpin, some kind of boss of the deep state who just says, okay, you know, let's just have the Democrats rule for 4 years, and we just completely control the president like Joe Biden, make him do whatever we want, and then we have some Republicans to rule the USA for another 4 years, and then we have a president like Trump, and I can also control him and blackmail him and make him do whatever I want. And yeah, this is it. Everything seems very strange. And yeah, is this really so much against MAGA or to take down MAGA? No, it is just to tell people the truth, what really happened in the USA. And I want to tell you one thing, Jesse. Cory Comparatori was a MAGA person, and they murdered him at a MAGA rally. And there was US intelligence snipers that shot him in the head and murdered him. There was a MAGA person. And his Cory Comparatori and James Copenhaver, they were also at a MAGA rally. This all happened at a MAGA rally. They shot into the crowd at a MAGA rally. There's people dying there. So I feel the responsibility to inform MAGA people what happened at the rally. And I would really warn people that want to go to a MAGA rally, you know what, if you go to such a rally, you might get shot there and murdered there by the people that organized the rally.
Okay, so I have a question. I don't understand the question, and for some reason I can't get it to pop up. But I will ask you, if it makes sense, you can answer it. Otherwise, we'll just move on. So the question is, how does, and I don't know if this is a formula or something, how does capital C/capital T determine where the bullet landed? Does that make sense?
Correct thumb. CT is correct thumb.
Okay.
Yeah, I can show you the overlay video. Where do I have it? Which one was it? I'm going to open this up again. Yeah, the overlay, where is it?
So the question is basically asking, if I understand what you're saying now, is crack thump.
So
how do they figure out with the audio where the bullet landed? Is that what it's asking?
Yeah, so we can essentially simulate it. We can calculate all these values, all these distances. We can calculate this. So this blue circle here is, or this, let's say the rim of this blue circle is the thumb signal, and this is the crack signal. And I can just let it run again, make it big, let it run again. So, and we can now determine shot gaps, sound gaps. That's the difference between these two cones. We can calculate that. And this is how we can calculate that the shot went into the trunk and not Kirk, because this outer rim here is, the one at Kirk, and this inner one is the one at the trunk. So, okay, and the gap is 6 meters. Yeah. And it just doesn't fit in the calculation here. So this is essentially the gap here. I calculated this here. So here it's a bit different because I just worked over this table again to include these steps there with these 18 inches that I said before. So the steps in the auditorium that are 18 inches tall. So it's a bit different. So here it's 0.19. And in this video, it's 0.18. So we can calculate all these values. We can calculate with a very high precision how that bullet flew. And yeah, this is just, so this is how it determines that. It's just mathematics, physics, and that's the correct thumb analysis.
All right, and we have a super chat. Thanks, Wojtek. It's a pleasure listening to two smart guys like you. Now, I just want to reiterate, this is his theory. This is his baby. I know a lot about a lot of things. I'm not an expert, I would say, in any of this specific stuff, but yeah. I mean, thanks for the compliment, and thanks for telling all guys that. Like when I bring guests on, I want to give them, just like a lot of other channels like Redacted, and you know, there's a ton of them. They give guests the opportunity to tell their story and say their piece, and you know, the information belongs to the guest and doesn't necessarily represent the show that they're on. So in this case, you know, this compliment would go to Algeist.
Yeah, but you're also a very great host, I think.
Well,
I appreciate it.
Okay, this is interesting. So since you didn't analyze any other positions with sight lines, is that what it's? That's sight lines. We can't rule them out.
Of course, I can rule them out. I can rule them out. I know the shot must have come from 140 yards, so I can triangulate this. I know here shot must have come from 140 yards, or should I show this with a cone? Where do I have cones?
Let me make sure I'm sharing here. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, essentially it is, or yeah. So this is the only thing that works here, the only solution that works. So I can, this one is for recording 2. For recording 2, I think. And then yeah, I think what I could do now, being very, maybe I guess this is the way that you would rotate it. So if you want to make some kind of circle, I guess I also have never shown this. This is the proper way to do a radius, right? So with this one, and then I can do maybe a second one, put exactly here. And this is maybe also for Audio Freak and for John Cullen and all the people, and Matt Caster that want to draw radii. Watch this. So I'm going to put this center of, put it here, and then rotate it that way. Yeah, you see that. So just imagine that this point here draws a circle. Yeah. So I can make an entire circle. I can rotate this around, and it's always this position up here. And I can do this with any of these recordings. So it must be this position. Yeah, here, this one, and I take the other one. Yeah, you see that? It's always this position here. There's no doubt. This is where the shot came from. Yeah.
For anyone that's asking about his channel, it's in the description. but it's his name, Elgeist Nydrim.
Elga's New Dream. Here's a channel.
Nydrim, yep.
Here's my channel. Here's the video where I debunk the shooting of the stage shooting of Charlie Kirk, and here's the video with the original unaltered audio of Donald Trump and the agents on the podium at Butler.
Do you have any opinion on this comment? Let's see. Crack thump does not work if the phone is near Kirk. It should be thump crack, as anyone who has been downrange knows.
Thumb crack. What? The crack is the mark cone, and the mark cone is.
It's always behind.
It's always crack thumb. What? Okay. So I can show this video again, and this video here with the overlay. I mean, you can see that here. So this is it's kind of obvious that the crack is before the thumb. So this is the crack. This one, and this one here is the thumb. And it doesn't matter how close you make it, because let's just imagine a shorter range is, just imagine that the shot only went from here to here. But here it's also the crack before the thumb. Or even a shorter distance. It's always that. So I don't really understand how the thumb can come before the crack. Don't really get it. Sorry.
All right, so we have a good question here. As an outsider, what do you think will happen to the USA? I'm assuming based on politics and everything else going on. But what's our future?
I think will Trump really be president the full 4 years? Or I almost afraid I'm afraid he will be. I'm afraid he will be. And I can say it now. I wanted to make a video on it. I think there is a reason. Maybe there is a reason. I don't want to sound too negative. There is a reason why Donald Trump became president, and it's the same reason he became president the first time. And it's not just, I'm not talking billionaires putting him there, or I'm talking there's a fate reason for it. And I think Donald Trump may be a preparation for a far worse time. I think the first Trump presidency was maybe a preparation for the COVID virus. If you want to go spiritual now, and maybe the second, which was a really horrible time. Just imagine if Trump hadn't been president the first term, and then if we had just a party time like, I don't know, Hillary Clinton. I mean, I guess MAGA people wouldn't have been happy, but I guess the first Trump presidency was also kind of hard to bear. And then COVID came, but we were already prepared because Donald had dragged us down a bit. And I think that the second presidency of Trump might have exactly the same sense in terms of spirituality. So why does fate give us Donald Trump again a second time? And again, I think he might be a preparation for a worse time. And who knows what will come? Maybe some kind of big economic crash, or who knows? I mean, it looks like we're headed towards it with grocery prices going up, or I don't know. This is what might be the reason. From the outside.
There are some other channels like Brandon Biggs. He is the guy that he actually predicted that Trump would get shot in the ear. If you haven't seen him,
maybe he knew it.
I want to give him proper. Hold on, I want to do this properly and give him proper props here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Brandon Biggs. Let's see if I can pull this up. Yep. Make sure I get his channel here. Okay. Let me pause this. All right. Share this. It's not sharing the right one. Let's see. Here we go. And put it up. Maybe. Still learning StreamYard here a little bit. I apologize. So this guy here, this is from Last Days, Brandon Biggs. And he, I guess the best way to explain him is he's like a watchman, right? So he's a hardcore Christian. He prays, he speaks in tongues and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of people give him crap. They say he's insane and very animated. But he correctly predicted the Trump assassination attempt that hit his ear, down to the ear being hit before it happened. He also correctly prophesied that I believe it was the New Orleans terror attack where the car hit some people. He predicted that ahead of time. I think he's like 5 or 6 things have already come true that he's talked about, and now he's talking about a plague that might be coming or something. But make sure you check him out. But he was just talking about some of this stuff too, about the U.S. and kind of the path that it's on. But he said himself that he personally believes that Trump was chosen to specifically usher in the end days. So he thinks that Trump was he's the vessel to get the beast system in place, to maybe initiate some of the wars and the groups and who's on which side for the wars and things that are going to come for end days. So if you believe in that stuff, this is a great channel, Last Days. Go check it out, but very interesting. Let's see here. People are saying they subscribe to you.
Thank you.
Let's see. Here we go. How did the prosthetic work? Who set it off remotely, or did Charlie set off the device?
Yeah. We mustn't show any footage, right?
Yeah. So unfortunately, it'd be a lot easier just to show you. Actually, if you watch the video from yesterday, fortunately, it has not been demonetized yet, but you can see some of the stuff we're talking about. But go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, a prosthetic is essentially a layer. It's a silicone layer that you put on, for example, on the neck here, on the left neck, and it looks very realistic. And they use makeup to make it look super realistic. So if you see that, you would think like this here. It looks just like my left neck here. I don't have a prosthetic, but they can put these prosthetics on actors, and it looks just like real skin. And so these prosthetics are typically 1 inch thick. It's just a silicone layer. And how big is it? Well, let's say it's like this big, like this size here. And you can hide tubes in this 1 inch thick prosthetic. And I had this video run before. Maybe I can let it run again.
But as far as who set it off, it could have been anyone.
So
a lot of them have remote triggers.
Yeah, who set it off? Okay. Yeah, I think that was in the movies. It's always the actor and someone outside. So in the movies, it's always 2 people to prevent uncontrolled explosions. And I think it's the same thing here. I think Kirk somehow set it off. He could have had this maybe somewhere, I don't know, in his, essentially anywhere on him, maybe on his thigh somewhere, or so the trigger, I mean, to set it off, to set the air puffs off, and another audio guy, maybe the guy that told him to lift up the microphone with the left hand. Maybe, I don't know, do I have this somewhere? Or I don't know. Yeah, I guess I think I have it in blurred even here. So this video, I'm just going to stop that. It was, I think this one here. Yeah, this guy might have set it off, or this guy here might the second one, right? And then run away. So
and
yeah,
then,
any one of them. So it's and
it was remote, yes.
Yeah. So in the movies, it's always 2. It's always the actor has 1 igniter, and someone from the team to prevent uncontrolled explosions. And I think they did exactly the same thing here. So I think it's one of the sound guys, I think, had the other control, and Kirk had something on his body. The 2, how do you say, the 2 buttons that just ignited that fake bloodstream.
And by the way, thanks for the super chat. Like I said, I'm newer at the live streams, so typically you would say thank you for every single one, but everyone who's super chatting and donating and that kind of stuff, much appreciated. We have this one here. Okay, so this is a big question. So are you saying you solved this 100% by using audio and editing recording app, and assume the round was 2750 feet per second because you think that's a standard velocity? Is there no margin for error?
There's always a margin for error, but I can be so 100% sure because the gap is just so big. So 0.02 seconds, that's over 6 meters, that's almost 7 meters, the sound gap. And the margin for error, yeah, that's just a couple of inches. So there's always, you could always, even these positions here, I mean, these positions that I worked out, and they could also be 10 centimeters to the left, but then it would be all of them, all of these crosses here. I can just remove these cones a bit. So all of these crosses could be then 10 centimeters to the left or 10 centimeters to the right or something. But here in this overlay video, we can see that this gap here is just so big, it's just over 6 meters. And this is why I can be 100% sure. So yeah, so to answer your question, there is this margin, but it's 6 meters. This is not a margin anymore. I mean, this is a very, very clear result. Yeah.
All right, and Charlie's Angels, thanks for the super chat. There was a weird handoff. Notice between Brian Harpole and a photography woman. She brings him something, trunk opens, then shot goes off. Okay, so really quick, you can answer this one as well, all guys. But so in the Brian Harpole interview, what he says it is the woman that always goes around and brings like drinks and snacks to people. He said that she brought him mints. That's what he said.
Yeah, I think she's is this when Kirk is already shot in these 10 seconds before. Okay, yeah, okay, then it could just be mints or whatever, or I don't know, maybe, yeah, I don't know what this was. Could have been anything. If he says it's mints, I think it is an interesting detail. Yeah, you have a very you have an eagle eye noticing that. But yeah. Was it right before the shot went off? Yeah, who knows? Who knows what it was? Maybe it was some final instructions, or yeah, we'll never know. Brian Harpole says it was mints.
Do you think the security remotely triggered the blood from the prosthetic?
Yeah, I think it was, as I said, most likely an audio guy. I can, this guy, I think most likely this guy. He looks at him, and yeah, it was most likely this guy that triggered it. It was the second trigger, but Kirk also had a trigger. I think they did it just like in the movies. I mean, the main problem is that they have some kind of uncontrolled explosion. I mean, just imagine what happened if the explosion went off too early, right? And there's a huge blood fountain, but no gunshot. And this would have been the worst case. So to prevent that, they use 2 triggers, and they have to be pressed within a short time interval by 2 different people. And I think Kirk pressed the trigger and the audio guy pressed the trigger, and then it went off. They do everything just like in the movies. And just like we said before, we have this Mike McCash. Where's his photo? He's a movie guy. He's a special effects expert. And yeah, I think before we wanted to show something from camera 7. I think you wanted to show that. I don't really, because there might be blood, but we can see him. This Mike McCash was standing here. It's not this guy holding the camera, but Mike McCash would have stood here.
Yeah, he was nearby for sure.
Yeah, nearby. Yeah, somewhere here he stood. Who knows? Maybe it was Mike McCash who pulled the second trigger. I don't know. Maybe not the audio guy, the sound guy here. Maybe it was Mike McCash here. We don't know.
Nah. Yeah, guys, make sure you hit that like button. That's the easiest way to show support. And definitely not #1 podcast. That would go to Candace. But I appreciate it.
No, it's definitely Candace.
All right, we have Mr. Turpin. Thanks for the super chat. Everyone is saying Charlie Security basically saying they did a bad job, right? Not in total, but they dropped the ball mostly around the roof, right? They said the roof was supposed to be taken care of by the police officers that were there, but they did not verify that. So they handed off responsibility. They delegated to somebody else, and they did not follow up in their responsibility to protect Charlie. So they failed there regardless. But he says maybe they did a good job, and they're still working for Erica with Fed help. And yes, those same security guards that were there when Charlie got shot, whatever happened here, right? The guys guarding him are the same ones still guarding Erica.
Yeah, I mean, this also makes it very obvious. I mean, would a video really just have the same people? that were there when her husband died. I mean, isn't it kind of obvious that she would just try to hire a different security organization to protect her?
You would fire them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if she really loved him and it was some kind of deep love, and I mean, these guys just somehow failed to protect him and didn't even try to shoot the sniper, right? No one pulled out a gun, nothing. And I mean, if this was real love, I mean, she would not forgive this. She would never forgive them. She would just the way, I mean, most women, they would just say, I never want to see these men again, and they are guilty because my husband died, and I just never want to see them again. This is how 99% of women would react that love their husband. Yeah.
All right, we have this one here. Explain why you think they removed the SIM cards from the cameras.
This was to prevent the audio from getting leaked. And this has a lot to do with this video here. This has a lot to do with the audio of the Butler staging. So here, this audio got leaked. And at the UVU, we have this guy. I guess I don't have a clip here, but maybe you can show one where he just walks up. I think McClintock has also photos of him on his website, where he just completely stands on a chair and completely conspicuously just moving evidence, destroying evidence, standing on a chair, and just pulling out an SD card. Why did he do that? Not for the images that the cameras recorded. No, it was about the audio, because the microphone of this camera recorded the last words of Kirk and the bodyguard and this audio guy that told him to pick up the mic with the left hand now. And this is what it's all about, the audio on the SD card. And this is why they removed that card. They really had some boss in the security that really told them this must not repeat itself, what happened at Butler. The audio got leaked. This was a huge disaster. This must not happen again. I don't care if it looks stupid, and if you have to get on the chair and climb up on the chair in front of everyone. And yeah, you have to remove this SD card, and you have to also destroy it. I think they already destroyed this SD card. We will never find out what this camera recorded, because this SD card is already destroyed. I'm very.
All right, did you want to take this one here?
I think the ballistics was to prop up the patsy, so the narrative is sold to the public. But what I saw, he was shot from the back from tunnel.
And I think a lot of people think that based on the front wound looking like an exit wound.
Yeah, but the problem is we don't have an entry wound, and we cannot show the pictures here, I think, or we can show maybe that of Ryan's time. Can we show that?
I don't think so.
No, okay,
Nope.
No.
YouTube doesn't play around with that stuff.
Yeah, but we don't have any entry wound, and there was no bullet hole in the back side of the tent. And I don't know if what do you mean when you say you saw that he was shot? Do you mean the video by Seb Boykin or by?
I think he's saying based on the evidence he's seen. I think is what he means.
I don't think we can see that he was shot from the tunnel, and we don't have any audio signature that would tell us there was a shot from the tunnel. There was no second shot, because you have to see if the shot was fired here somehow, then this wave, that this cracked thumb would have traveled this way outwards. It would not have come from here downwards. No, if the shot was fired here, then the cracked thumb would have traveled this way, and we would also see it in the audio tracks, but we cannot see any sign of a shot fired out of the tunnel.
And also shout out to Audio Freak. He basically asked him the same thing, because some of the initial theories that I was looking into was shots from the back. And I asked Audio Freak early on too. I was like, does anything in the audio show that it supports a shot from behind? And he said no. So let's see. All right, we have this question here. During the first interview, did you say that they shot into the trunk, they had a second shooter?
No, what I said was, it rules out theories that propose a second shooter in the trunk. Now you remember there was, first and foremost by Jason Goodman, there was this theory that there was maybe a shooter in the trunk. Yeah, Jason Goodman said, okay, the hatch of the trunk opens up and then the shooter shoots. And but I can prove that the shot went into the trunk, and this obviously rules out any second shooter in a trunk. So this is how this was meant. I'm not saying that there is a second shooter in the trunk. No, I say the shot from allegedly Tyler Robinson's position from that roof into the trunk would have hit a second shooter. And this is why there cannot have been a second shooter in the trunk, because this second shooter would be dead then. Yeah, and it is not a good plan having a second shooter in a trunk that gets shot by a shot from the roof right in the moment when he tries to shoot Charlie Kirk with a synced second gunshot that must be fired at the exact same time. And this is not a plan that anyone would make. And we also don't have any sign of that in any audio track.
And Twitty Pie, thanks. Yep, everyone like and subscribe. It's the easiest way to show your support.
Thank you, Twitty.
And of course, head over to, let me see, I think I have it here. Yeah. Make sure you go over that scroll at the bottom of the screen that shows his X and his YouTube. Make sure you go over there and check that out. And let's see. We have a lot of questions. A lot of questions. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get to every question tonight. We're already at 2.5 hours. So and it's significantly later where he's at. So he's basically going to the midnight, past midnight hours now. Let's see. We kind of answered this before, but how many people do you imagine were in on this and no one would have leaked it?
Yeah, the entire security team was in on it. They are all ex-Marines, ex-CIA agents. They know how to keep their mouth shut. This is just what they do. They know, for example, what a code red is. If you remember the movie A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson, they just know how to follow orders. They know codex. They know honor. They know that they have to respect their team and their leaders, and they don't blow the whistle. And it was, the security team, 10 people. I guess the footage makes it kind of obvious that they were all in on it. No one expected a second shot. No one of them pulled their gun to take out the sniper. They were all in on it. And Frank Turek was also in on it. And the Verify boss was also in on it, that was standing next to Charlie Kirk. Yeah, they were all in on it. And you have to understand, it's not just that they are soldiers and they know how to respect the unit and always keep their mouth shut. It's also that they receive a lot of money. And so they have 2 reasons to never say anything. Yeah.
Gina W, thanks for the super chat. I'm a singer-actress and are familiar with prosthetics and blood bags, but usually our actors set them off. I'm just wondering if it was a remote detonation.
Yeah, the actors set them off. Typically, she's correct. The actor sets them off on someone from the team to avoid accidental explosions.
And in Hollywood,
it's a remote detonation. Yes, someone remote from the team, most likely, as I pointed out, the sound guy or Mike McCash is the second remote trigger. But this is how.
And in Hollywood, you're talking about lots of money. So if you have actors and everyone's ready to set, cameras are rolling, you have a ton of extras and everything, and the actor or someone else accidentally sets that off early, you're pissing someone off because you're costing them tens of thousands of dollars every time, because they have to clean everything up, reset the entire stage and everything else. They have to clean the actor up, sometimes put a whole new prosthetic on. I mean, it's a huge process. So that's why they both have to make sure.
Yeah, and here they only had one shot. They only had one shot, so they needed to be very sure they could not repeat that one.
All right, so Jeremy Laws, thanks for the super chat. Invite Valhalla, Jesse, and Fire, ENC on the live. So,
guys.
Yeah, so in full transparency, I have reached out to most of them, a lot of people, and no one has responded. I reached out on X and on YouTube, and I think I want to say that I think certain people are kind of in their own cliques, right?
Yeah.
So you have people that know each other. So obviously
Mhm.
they're going to be friends, so they'll be on each other's stations and stuff. But those are much bigger channels. I think they would probably look at a channel like mine and just laugh at it and move on.
Yeah.
But guys, if you're out there, I've reached out to you on X, and get back to me, and we can talk. Let's see. That's an interesting one. High quality audio would probably hear the whoosh of compressed air.
What do you mean compressed air? I mean the cone. Yeah, I mean people. Every smartphone records this differently. The crack thump. I've been told that. Well, I also haven't heard that in real life really, but the crack typically sounds like hornets flying by, like the buzzing of a hornet or something like that. And yeah, is this compressed air? It is just a sound signal. It's a sound wave. Or you mean the whoosh of compressed air by Charlie Kirk? Yeah, okay. By this air puff, she means, or he means. Sorry, Richard. Of course, Richard. I see it's Richard. Yeah. So by the air puff. Yeah, you have to realize that this air puff went off in the exact same time that allegedly the bullet struck. So you have these two sound events at once. And so I don't see why you would really hear that, and I don't think you can really extract that so much. Yeah.
So Audio Freak says, can't help but like the guy.
Oh,
Audio
thank
Freak,
you, Matt.
we love you too,
Glad
man.
you're still on. Wow, it's for him. It's also very late. So you kept watching this 2.5 hours. Wow.
Well, he's hardcore too. A lot of people don't know
Yeah.
the amount of time he puts on, in on this stuff. And then the streams he was on with me, he was also on late overnight. So he's definitely dedicated as well. And of course, hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe. Check out his channel. Go over there, subscribe as well. And then also, I have my second channel, Off Script Radio, which is where I want to do this kind of content on. And I need to get to 1,000 subscribers. So please go over there to Off Script Radio and subscribe over there as well. Let's see. There you go. You deserve more subscribers.
Yeah, I think she refers to both of us. I think you
so.
on your second channel and me also. Well, I also have a second channel. But it's very small. I guess I have 40 subscribers.
We have another one. Subscribe, people. Let's see. There's one for you. Did he close his eyes?
Yeah, this is just bad acting. People don't close their eyes when they die. And I guess sometimes, I don't know, with little children, if you have little children around, and sometimes they play dying, right? And they play, "Oh, I'm dead now." And what do little children do? They just close their eyes, and then they think, "Oh, I acted like I died, or I act like I'm dead." So this is a really silly acting mistake. And that he kept his eyes closed and so on. I mean, he prepared for this air puff punch under his shirt. He prepared for it, or this is just, yeah, almost funny.
This is interesting one. Do you have an opinion on that one?
Candace mentioned yesterday, all of the videos that have been released could be from military people. They won't promote videos they don't want out. Yeah. But Adam Bartholomew is not military. So Adam Bartholomew is the guy on here. I can show his video. Was 10, the famous one. We don't see any blood here, so I can just hit forward. Where is it? Yeah, this is the famous video, right? You remember this one? And this guy is not military. And Adam, so they had these drones flying around, and they attacked his camera with drones, and they wanted to make his camera stop recording, but he had these Ethernet devices, and for some reason, it still recorded to his iPad. So his camera did not record anything on the SD card, but the iPad recorded it, as far as I understood. And this guy is not military, and this guy is essentially the reason why we can debunk this so well, because he is the one that gave us this
measurement here in this sound gap. Yeah, he's the one standing there with this big gap here. So I have a better one. Where's the zoom? Yeah. So this guy here with the zoom, he is the one standing here with this huge sound gap. And this guy is not military. But I get her point. Yeah, it could be. So all other recordings, yeah, that's, I mean, it would not be that conclusive. It would not be that obvious without Bartholomew's recording. But there's also this video 7, this Boykins video with this artifact. And the audio is not doctored. But it could also be a military person that just sent it to Boykin, or Boykin himself is from the military. And I think this artifact is, I can say it now, it has never been said before. This artifact in video 7, in my opinion, is a very obvious very obviously doctored. And I think I said this before, it was to cover the search term earshot in search engines. Before UVU, earshot led to the Butler staging, and now it leads to the UVU staging with Charlie Kirk.
Let's see. Looks like we have YouTube link issues again, it looks like. Let's see. So this one here.
Valhalla, wow.
Valhalla mentioned your channel the other day. I'm not sure if you're talking about Elgeist or you're talking about mine. Valhalla did cover a video of mine previous where I was talking about the neck theory, where the pendant was going into the neck. He did cover that, and I was in his stream, and I actually did a super chat and asked him a question, and he was like, "Hey, what's up?" and whatever, and all that. He was cool. Like, I'm not saying these guys aren't like cool guys in their own right. I'm just saying that, you know, you reach out to them, and I don't know, they might have tens of thousands of messages. I don't know. They have, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, Valhalla seems like a cool guy. Let's see. This one here. Charlie's Angel, thanks again for a super chat. If it was faked, would someone be in on it and some not to weed out the rats in the ship?
Okay. That would be too much of a risk. Or what does he want to say here? So if you think if someone blows the whistle now, then they know he's a rat, or would some be? How is this even meant?
I think they're asking us if it was fake, was something. So basically, trying to weed out some of the bad people in whatever manner they choose to do it, right? So maybe the ones who won't go along with it being fake are the ones who try and be whistleblowers or whatever it may be.
Yeah, it could be, but well, if someone blew the whistle, then the entire thing would just be exposed, right? I don't really think so. I think they know no one is going to blow the whistle. No one is going. They have this huge economic power, this huge control. They control all of them in some way. Some of them they blackmail. Some of them it's just with financial power, giving them just big money, 100 grand or something, and they just control them. So yeah, it is. I think it is a bit of a narrative that they try to push, that there are some kind of traitors in TPUSA. And people should find the traitors that are behind ambushing Charlie. But I think this is just a narrative to distract the audience, to distract the public.
So we have Tanya's here. You can do research and do your math, make your own spreadsheets. You don't have to just let YouTubers tell you. 100%. Do your own research. No matter what anyone tells you, always verify it. And always, I mean, if you have the capability, I can't verify physics to a certain degree. Obviously, I can look up some stuff and try and chat GPT or whatever, but I'm not a physicist. But when it comes to any of this stuff, on Candace, Ian, Valhalla, everyone, right? You want to verify as much information as you can. Think of it like this. This is an interesting way to think about it, but think about all of this as just entertainment at this point. And the reason I say that is because more details might come out that change everything. So you might be completely married to one theory, and then they just pull it out from underneath you and they're like, we have Tyler Robinson shooting him on camera in 4K from 5 different angles, 100% verified. And then we have Charlie's body here, and we have an autopsy report, and here's Charlie's body. You can see the entrance wounds, and you can see everything that happened. That may happen. But everything we're seeing, no one can technically prove anything. Now, Elgeist has the pieces of his that he can prove with physics and that kind of stuff. But again, you know, we haven't seen Charlie alive, and we haven't seen a dead body. So this is all best guess. It's kind of like the
And no, but seriously, the lawyers of Tyler Robinson, this is really what you use in court. And there are proofs that are accepted in court. And it's especially the physics proof because they are so 100% reproducible. I mean, if we reproduce this shot 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, a fantastillion times, infinitely often, it always yields the same results. So this is proof that is respected in court and that will lead to the acquittal of Tyler Robinson if the lawyers take it seriously and if they present it, then he will get acquitted. So that there are things that in court every judge has to respect. And if the judge disrespects it, then he will get trouble with other judges and with the internal revision of the judges. Yeah, the judges are also under surveillance. They cannot just do whatever they want, and they have to respect these physics proofs.
Okay, this one here, where's all the cell phone footage? I heard it all got confiscated. There was a lot that is happening with that. So I've heard multiple different things, but people who were there was one whistleblower that came out and he was kind of pursued by the FBI, I believe. But he said that he had footage on his phone and he backed it up because he was smart. But he backed it up, and then later on, he found out that it was taken off of his phone remotely, and the FBI contacted him, and there was some very sketchy phone calls and things that were happening, and they're trying to get rid of his footage. That's one piece of it. And then the other piece is a lot of the cell phones there, for whatever it may be, whether it's drones or just happen to be in that moment, or electro radiation from the sun, right? We're having solar flares, whatever happened, their cell phones were not working. They were not getting signals. They failed, whatever it may be. So there's a lot of things that could have happened. So we'll leave that one to theory. Let's see. Vid 7872. Thanks for the super chat. CK was only 27 when Montgomery and Freese died, and he was left alone with a multi-million-dollar company. The Jackals saw their opportunity to move in. That's a good point. I mean, someone that young, getting that much power and be able to kind of launch everything. He was definitely like the face of it. He was like the mascot. But I doubt how much control he actually had behind the scenes, to be honest. But I don't work for them, so I wouldn't really know.
Yeah, but he benefited also personally. I mean, you really have to see that they spend most of their money on their personal lifestyle. I mean, he flew private jet a lot. He lived in the best hotel suites.
They all did.
They all did. But I guess mostly he got the best of the best, right? He's the CEO, and they always get something that is a bit better or premium or whatnot, right? And I mean, he had a really good life, and the Jackals, I don't know. It is just this narrative. It's as if people were brainwashed to believe there is some kind of conspiracy within TPUSA. And me from the distance, it is just so strange that people just accept this so much, this narrative that gets pushed now. And everyone is looking for the traitor and who's the Jackal, and, and Charlie got ambushed. Yeah, it is what they push, and it is social media pushes these videos that just tell that narrative, and which leads to more creators producing more and more of these videos, pushing that narrative, and then people believe it. And well, I know he was 27, but okay, let's go to the next one. I mean, he was 27, but even at age 18, he was already into business, and he knew very well what business is about. This entire Christian thing, this is what he developed later on.
And well, that's another thing too. TPUSA, I didn't realize that TPUSA itself was not a Christian organization; it's a political organization. TPUSA Faith, until more recently, is supposed to be a faith organization, but they're very political as well. We have Stephanie Soresi. Thank you for the super chat. Why would the FBI help CK disappear and set up Tyler Robinson for the death penalty? Did CK inform on someone? Did Trump order cash to help CK get away?
Yes, Stephanie, I remember you from comments that you gave me. A very interesting question. Why would the FBI help CK disappear? Because he was an asset. He was a pawn in the game. And they didn't just help him disappear. Yeah, they told him the fake is death. US intelligence told him. FBI is US intelligence. They needed a distraction, a big distraction. And they set up Tyler Robinson for the death penalty.
Yeah, we have to assume that Tyler Robinson is a real innocent person, and they just don't care. They say, you know what, young men die for the USA in wars all the time, and he's just another 20-year-old that dies for the USA. This is how they see it, I guess. So, and did CK inform on someone? No, he was just there to distract the attention. This entire faking his death is just to distract the attention. It looks like a crown witness, like for witness protection, but with the main difference that he never delivered any valuable evidence for anything. He would just faked his own death to distract the attention for the US government and US intelligence to distract the attention from other scandals like this audio from the Butler staging getting leaked. And did Trump order cash to help CK get away? Yes, it was Trump who ordered it, definitely. Trump, again, benefits the most because his presidency continues. And the Butler audio tapes would have ended his presidency.
All right, next we have Mab Investigates. So what does Charlie do now? Plastic surgery, etc. Thanks for the super chat.
Yeah, he definitely had a plastic surgery, and I don't think he has much to do now. I don't think he can become a content creator. I don't think so. I don't think they let him do that, but I think they pay all his bills. I think he lives a nice life in a nice house, and he can just enjoy his day and drink cocktails every now and then, maybe enjoy life with his lover or find a new lover or whatnot, start a new family, live completely relaxed because he got a lot of money for faking his death.
Well, we hear a lot of stories about people faking their death. Like people think Tupac is still alive, Elvis, But the most interesting one, the one that actually makes me think that it's legitimate, is Robin Williams. There is
the suicide, the actor.
Well, that's the thing. So they say he committed suicide. He was very depressed. He had a lot of issues going on with mental health. But the reason why it's interesting is because there's a social media influencer, I think it's like Big Pappy or Uncle Pappy or something, who looks exactly like him. And he's a very unique looking guy. Like his mouth and everything is very, very unique. And this guy looks exactly like him. And he jokes. He does the voice and everything. He's like, "Oh, I'm Robin Williams. Check me out." Ha ha ha. Right? But it's like from my childhood and all the movies I've seen of him, I'm like, that is Robin Williams 100%. Right? So
okay,
it's
I have to check him out. Yeah, I haven't known that. Interesting. Yeah.
Robin Williams. Charlie's Angels, thanks for the super chat. So example, if there's a plot to kill him and Charlie let a higher agency know, and they had to let it play out to know who was involved. Trying to set them up. Interesting.
If there was a plot to kill him and Charlie let a higher agency know, is the FBI a higher agency? Yeah, there was no plot. Nobody tried to kill Charlie. Nobody tried to kill him. They just told him to fake his death. This is the same like Candace. Nobody tries to kill Candace. These European US intelligence agencies, like the French one, are not interested in creating conflict with the USA. They just don't try to kill someone in the USA. They just don't do that. This is just made up. And yeah.
Please explain the two cracks on Adam B's Bartholomew's audio.
Yeah, here it is. This is Adam Bartholomew's audio. I can make it full screen. So this is the crack and the thump, and these two are echoes. So first echo is this one, goes from speaker number 5. There was another speaker. So here was speaker 1, 2, 3, 4, and there was speaker 5 here. This speaker was not timed in sync with the other 4 speakers. And this speaker displayed the crack sound. And yeah, this sound bounced off this concrete wall. So this is the first one in pink or violet or whatever this is, this color. And the second, the cyan one, the cyan blue one. The pale blue is this path here. So it goes boom, 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 hits his mic here. And that's all the 4 spikes here. So we have crack, reflection 1, reflection 2, and thump. Yeah, that's Bartholomew's audio track.
Let's see here. Oh, interesting. Have you heard anything about this? Did your audio analysis clearly catch what the person yelled just before the shot? It sounded like stand down. Have you heard any voices?
Yeah, now it was stand there, in my opinion. It sounds like stand down because Kirk says count, from counting or not counting gang violence, the sound count. This is like down, and it's exactly at the same time. So he says stay there, and this sound there is uttered at the exact same time that Kirk says count, from counting. And this is why it sounds like stay down or stand down, but in reality it was stay there. And this was, I think, this is also a problem. This might also be a false lead because you can only hear it on the recordings of the balcony, recordings 4 and 15, I think, and not on the close recordings 2 and 5. You cannot hear this stand there. So maybe I can show it. Where do I have it? So here. So these 2 recordings, on 4 you can hear it. You can hear stay there. And here also on 15, which was located here. Zoom in a bit. What was that? Zoom. So 4 is this one here. And here was another one, 15. And these 2 you can hear stay there. And this was uttered somewhere here. Someone here said that because you cannot hear it in these 2 recordings. It was stay there. So it was not, I don't think it was a command to Brian Harpel so much. If it was a command to Brian Harpel, then it could have been a command that someone here spoke into a walkie-talkie that Brian Harpel received on his earpiece, or I don't know, because Brian Harpel really had to stay there and stand still to not get shot by that bullet that just barely missed him here, flying this way here on this green trajectory. And Brian Harpel stood somewhere here. Yeah.
Now, this is interesting, too. They said that might be why he liquidated that $5 million house just months before. So we have the insurance being canceled. We have the house being liquidated. And then we have movement of people getting fired or at least shifted to different positions within TPUSA and the Doge audit being called for, all happening around the same time. That's kind of interesting. Good point there. Let's see. If the sound wasn't supersonic, then would all his math and data points be incorrect? Yes, because this is all based on the Mach cone and the speed of the bullet and all that kind of stuff. But even if
it is supersonic because we can hear and see.
Well, no, that's not the question though. They're basically saying if it was subsonic, would that invalidate everything? And I'm just saying yes. Like it's not saying you're wrong. It's just saying that it would change the data.
Yeah, but it was not because we have the observation that it was supersonic, clearly supersonic. We can hear it. We can hear the crack thump when we listen into it. We have it in Audacity, crack and thump. And if it was subsonic, we would not hear a crack thump, and we also would not have this crack signal here. We simply wouldn't have it.
We have someone asking for the poll results. Give me just a second here. It's acting up while I'm trying to get it to play. Here we go. All right, there's your poll results.
Okay.
All right, we have this one here. Through all of the videos, lots of people ran out by the building the sus took the shot from. Did in the vid of sus jumping off, no one's running out, staged. So you're saying
suspect took the shot from?
So they're saying in some videos you see people running around like crazy, but in the video where he's jumping off the roof or that person is jumping off the roof, they're saying there's no one else running around him, which they're saying they don't match.
Yeah, I mean, isn't this the most conspicuous thing? A person jumping from a roof, right? He refers to that way he jumps from the roof on the parking lot. I mean, a person jumps from a roof. Isn't this the first thing that every person walking on the sidewalk would look at? And also people driving in the car, right? Oh my God, there's someone jumping from the roof. Everyone would notice that, yeah. It is staged, yeah. This is also another indicator, I would say. Good observation, Mr. El Blanco.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Yep, I did the poll results. Yep, make sure you subscribe, hit the like. We appreciate everyone being here. We know this has been a long stream.
I haven't seen the poll results, actually. I haven't seen them anyway yet.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, because it
Yeah.
doesn't show on your side on
Yeah.
StreamYard. That's correct. And I actually can't see him either because I'm creating him, so I can't see any. So we'll
Yeah.
have to work on that piece of it. Let's see. Yeah, they're saying Trigger can get to 1,000 subs tonight. So they're saying head over to Offscript Radio, and let me show you that here really quick. So go over to Offscript Radio. It's at Offscript Radio on YouTube, and that's where we're going to start doing these things. We're going to start doing live streams and everything over there, and really dedicate a lot of time and effort on that channel. But we're trying to get it monetized because you have to have 1,000 subscribers before you can actually make any money on YouTube. Let's see here. This have a ton of questions. How are you feeling, Algeist? Do you feel like you can keep going for a little bit, or 3 hours in now?
Yeah. It's a very long time. Yeah. Can you
So
just run some ads for maybe a tiny pause or something? Or
yeah, did you want to take a break there real quick?
yeah, if it's possible.
All right.
Let
Let
run
me,
some ads.
yeah,
Very
just
short. I will be back very, very shortly. Yeah.
Okay, just let me know when you're ready.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll give him a break here. Yeah, 3 hours in, he's been a champ. He's been one after another, just answering all the questions. So we appreciate everyone being here, and obviously he's putting himself out there and being, anyone that comes on these type of channels like this and tells their story or gives their angle, that it takes a lot of bravery. So I would definitely give him that as well. Obviously, it's seeing powerful people playing checkers. Yeah. And we'll never know unless you're one of those powerful people, unless you're one of the big players. You're never going to really know what's going on in the world, but we can just guess. There's definitely people pulling the strings that we don't know about, and we don't have any control over. Let's see. Thanks for the super chat, Charlie's Angel. Brian Harple moved to a new position right before. I think a couple of guys did, right? The guy in black that was behind Charlie also moved right before the shot. And then you're saying Brian Harple moved right before the shot. I mean, that's an interesting observation. And they kind of did like what seemed like hand signals, but Brian Harple said in his interview on Sean Ryan that they don't really use hand signals, and if they do, they're very obvious. It's not like adjusting a hat or something. It'd be a lot more obvious than that. Let's see.
Yeah. Now we can do another hour. Now I'm fine.
Well, I don't know if we need to do another hour, but I just want to make sure.
No.
I just want to make sure we're hitting the super chats, and if you guys have any questions, no matter what it is, put it in, and we will see if we can get to them. And then obviously super chats, we always pull those up and talk to people and let them get their stuff heard. Let's see. Audio forensics professional has debunked this crack thump theory. I need to be able to post longer question. Yeah, I mean, if you think, obviously you can go to his ex or my ex, or send me an email. My email's down in the description. If you think you have something that can help, because remember, this isn't necessarily about debunking. If there is something off in calculations and stuff, then share that around, because then people can use that to improve upon what they already have. Let's see. Oh, we have Marissa Cruz saying her boyfriend.
Oh, Marissa, yeah. I remember you, Marissa. I will never forget you. You asked me if I was married or something like that, or if I don't know. Yeah. I think we are heading towards something. Are you already my girlfriend?
Let's see, Ali, let me go look back and see. And actually, really quick, while I'm looking for this, August, can you tell us kind of the state of Germany and what's going on over there? Because you gave us your prediction.
Oh man,
US.
listen, I have a German channel as well, and German politics right now is there's something so weird that happens. So, like in all countries, we have a lot of old people, and what they did right now is they essentially decided that they're going to give retired people a higher retirement payment, or whatever you call that, like per month, and they're going to finance this not through the retirement system, but from taxpayers' money. And this is like I think it's like 30 billion euros or something over a couple of years. 30 billion. And in Germany, we have very bad infrastructure during the Merkel era. The entire infrastructure, rotted essentially, and our trains are late, right? People said German railway is just like Japanese railway, like super punctual, but not in the last decade. And this is because the infrastructure is so bad. So they should build railways that are worth 30 billion bucks, but they're not doing this because they are giving money to old people. And this is Friedrich Merz. Yeah, this is our chancellor. I think he doesn't understand the world anymore because he takes away money from the public that should be invested in the future and more in young people, but he just gives it to old people so that they can consume. And the problem is that it's not just the poor old people that get a higher monthly payment. No, it's also the rich old people. It's just every old person. So if it was just about helping poor old people, then nobody would have a problem. But he just throws money at all old people, no matter how rich they are. And at the same time, they reintroduced something like a draft. So young men are drafted again, and they don't have to serve 6 months or however long it took. No, they are just drafted. So they just check, okay, is this young man capable to potentially serve? But still, I mean, and these two decisions, they all made on the same day. So I wanted to do a video on my second channel because I had predicted this in a YouTube video, because Friedrich Merz is also very old, and he's not as old as Biden, but it's very similar. I mean, he doesn't really understand the world anymore, and he really prefers old people and buying the sympathy of old people and throwing money at them. It's kind of sad, actually. Yeah.
So we have a super chat, and this is from Ali. I believe she's contacted you possibly or talked to you on X, but she says, please correct your guest. Burton Hibbs drone. Let's see, hold on, let me make sure I can understand this before I share this. Let's see. Please correct your guest. She's saying the guy with the hat is not the Hollywood artist for the squib. It is Burton Hibbs. He's the drone guy. So she's just saying one of the pictures you showed, it wasn't the correct people, according to her research. And she said his brother is Pastor Jack Hibbs.
Yeah, did they say it's Budge Hibbs? Yeah. This is what they say. Is this Budge Hibbs? Budge Hibbs here? This guy, I have it here. Budge Hibbs? This guy, they say this guy is Budge Hibbs. And there's people that say, yeah, that's just Mike McCash disguised as Budge Hibbs. I think there is some pastor called Hibbs, and they say, oh, this pastor has a brother, and his brother is called Budge Hibbs. But it could be that this brother of the pastor is just completely invented. It could be that there is no Budge Hibbs. This is just Mike McCash playing Budge Hibbs. Yeah.
All right. Now, people are getting wild now. They're getting wild. Hide your girlfriend. Algeist is out. He's gonna
people. I mean,
girl.
it's like 3 a.m. here. Like, this is when I typically dance out. Like I win every dance battle in every club at this time on a normal Saturday or Sunday. Yeah. So
what style of dance? Because you're people like, okay, so obviously you do this research and the science and that kind of stuff, and you do the videos, but you're also like a performance athlete, right? Like a longevity athlete.
Yeah, longevity athleticism is different. This is more like a yogi.
Okay.
Like a monk, more or less. Or not a monk. I don't live like a monk. I have a very unique style. So I do a lot of yoga. I do a lot of walking. I mean, I did a lot of sports when I was younger. When I was younger, I was a very good athlete. So I can play all ball sports, or I understand all ball sports. I understand American football, for example, or baseball. I understand all these sports. I was very interested in sports, and but this longevity stuff, this is more just because I have a very young appearance. And
Deborah Serrano. I'm gonna start a rumor. Algeist is actually 150 years old. All right, let's see. Deborah Serrano. She says, "Sounds like the USA." Mr. Nydrum. So, and thanks for the super chat. So yeah, I mean, there's political issues and stuff everywhere. There's
Yeah.
misappropriation of funds. There's corruption everywhere, every country. Unfortunately, that's human nature. Good question here. Will you provide the Excel file?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I mean, I mean, at this point, yeah, what I want to avoid is what I wanted to avoid is someone just finding a very tiny error in the Excel file. So, for example, if there is maybe some kind of typo here, and then Candace Owen makes a video, right, and saying, "Oh, the entire Excel file is completely wrong because there is a typo here in this cell," right? Typical Candace style. So as it works in the social media. Yeah, I mean, should I make this public? I mean, the main goal is to get this to Tyler Robinson's lawyers, and yeah, I thought about it. Should I make this public? Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely considering it. But the problem is that so far, I mean, I offered to walk other social media peers through it. I said it last time, and the offer still stands, and nobody really was interested. So, I mean, if I make it public and then also, very few people are interested, or people like Candace Owens only want to find typos that don't have anything to do with calculations, or they want to find tiny calculation errors where, I don't know, where you say it doesn't really change the result at all, or, I mean, what could be, or, I mean, yeah, this is what I want to avoid, because on social media, if people find the tiniest error anywhere, then they just completely blow it out of proportion. But, as engineers, we just know that, for example, the sine and the cosine can be approximated for small angles. And someone that is not an engineer or not a physicist might not know that this is also a bit especially in the earlier versions. I mean, this is a very refined version. I have earlier versions of this as well. This is version 5.4, but in the earlier version, it was pretty much a back of the envelope calculation, and it was not that much different. It yielded exactly the same results. And for example, this with the steps was not in it that I have in now, with the steps from the auditorium. And I mean, if I had published this before and people would have looked at it and would have said, okay, where do you have the steps in the auditorium? Why are they not in there? And this entire Excel file is completely wrong, right? And this is what I want to avoid. I want to avoid a big channel, bigger than mine, bigger than, maybe also TriggerSmart, just maybe Candace Owens just looking at this and saying, oh, I found a tiny error and this is why the entire thing is wrong. But I can always offer to show this to peers. I mean, there are also math YouTubers that I can also send this to. I think because I'm kind of clueless that nobody really is interested from YouTube, from the YouTube creators. So I thought, okay, should I contact mathematics creators? I think a very famous one is maybe this guy here. He's also from England. This guy, should I contact him? I don't know. Should I send it to him? I haven't contacted him yet, but who knows? Maybe this guy can take a look at it. So I would really go down the peer road, but at a certain point, maybe I should make them public. When is the next hearing of Tyler Robinson? I think it is maybe next week, or was December 10 or something?
It's in January, I thought.
January, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, this is the main goal, and I hope we can get this out. And maybe if we have 100 guys on the YouTube, maybe engineers on the YouTube, I think I seen in the comments there were definitely some physicists, maybe a handful on our last podcast that commented that were physicists, and they can also contact me. I mean, I would maybe even share with them. Yeah. But the general public, I mean, the entire point is that Harsh Reality said today that there is software that can simulate a gunshot, and I don't think there is any software. So I think this is intellectual property that I have, and this is a completely new tool that I developed, a completely new software tool that is very valuable, actually. And as I write here in my
my channel description, what I do, this is cutting edge science. So I don't write papers and publish them somewhere on a preprint platform and then submit it to journals. I don't do this anymore. So here on YouTube, I really present unique and original cutting edge science. This is science that hasn't been done anywhere. And I just present it in the form of a video. So I've done this earlier on with 37. In this video, essentially here, I present a completely new mathematical concept that you cannot find anywhere in the scientific literature. And what I wanted Derek from Veritasium to peer review it, but he didn't do it. Yeah. And this is a bit the concept of my channel here. So this is something really innovative, this Excel table. This is something that doesn't exist. So harsh reality, if you watch this, please tell me who has this software, because I don't think there is any software. I think harsh reality saw my Excel table and thought, okay, he just made these calculations because there is software like this anyway, and harsh reality thought that I just somehow know that software that he thinks exists, but I don't think there is any software like that.
I know, for example, like here in our town, we have like a shot spotter outside. So if there's a gunshot, I think it can give like a rough estimate of where that shot came from for the police to head that direction. But but I mean, I'm sure there's some.
Do you know what I suspect? I think these shot spotter apps have the wrong calculation in them, the calculation that Cullen uses. Of course, they can give you the rough direction, but they cannot give you a 100% precise spot.
All right, we have a super chat here. Wojtek, thanks for the super chat. By the way, some say Candace is MI6 adjacent.
MI6, that's British Secret Service. Yeah. Audio Freak, are you still there? What do you think? Yeah, Candace, or Jason, does this mean that he says that the British intelligence is trying to kill Candace, not the French? How is this meant? I'm confused. Or does the Wojtek think that Candace works together with MI6?
Yes.
She works together with them, yeah. Actually, doesn't sound too British. I don't know.
She has a very good fake accent. Let's see.
Yeah, okay.
Was there any audio from any of Charlie's mics, or were they shut off right away?
Yeah, there was.
There was feedback in one mic. I know I heard that.
Yeah, here. I'm pretty sure this is the first one. Is the Cosec mic recording the crack, because the distances just fit. I think this is that there will be 6 meters. The Cosec mic 6 meters away from Kirk. Or something. I think this would just fit somehow. I calculated it. Or is it less than 6 meters? It would just fit. These two would just fit. And what I think is that they essentially, so the speakers are not here, but we have speakers 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope you can remember this all. And I think they shut off these two speakers, 1, 2, before the shot. These two speakers they let run, and we see that here. And this speaker they let also run, but it's out of sync. And it's just to confuse the analysis later on. This is what I think. This is what it looks like. Yeah.
So we have someone here that says, "Did you spend some time in New York? I can hear it. You're very Bronxy."
Yeah. Well, thank you. In New York, yeah. Well, I have to remember. Maybe New York and New York series. How did Tony Soprano speak? Is that New York or is that already New Jersey? Get off of me. Get off.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, so we have this one here. Someone is challenging. Algas, you said it was a supersonic sound. They're saying false. The crowd's reaction was not a loud boom type of reaction, meaning it was not a loud supersonic sound. It was a pop, like milder sound volume. Like some said it sounded like a firework, for example.
Yeah, how people perceive this individually. Some people might have perceived it that way, but the reality is, if you watch the videos, that most people turned towards the roof. They turned towards the roof. Some of them pointed, very few pointed at the roof. And Adam Bartholomew, I think, said it was a shot somehow, and I think he said there were echoes there, but he could locate that it was from the rooftop by intuition because he is an experienced gun person. And I mean, what we have is the evidence. The evidence are these audio files, and this is just crack and thump. It is just the spike exactly where we would expect it to be. And yeah, the individual experience of people in the crowd might have been that they thought it was a milder pop or something, but the recordings just show us these spikes exactly where they should be for a supersonic shot with a standard velocity from this position where Tyler Robinson allegedly was.
All right, so we have this comment here from Rome Info. Any mathematician or physicist can remake your own spreadsheet in an hour, so there is no need for Algeist to share the file. Share your equations instead.
I should share the equations.
No, he's saying other mathematicians and physicists should share their equations. They should not be challenging yours, or he's saying that they should be able to make their own. They shouldn't need to use yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone can make the spreadsheet, but I can tell you one thing. This entire debunk there, I think I invested some 200 hours maybe. I only made one video. But it could be that I invested more hours than any other person or debunking this. It doesn't look that way, like me having invested so many hours. But I mean, these simulations are really time consuming to make in Shortcut, for example. And these simulations, little by little, I worked out the math in combination with these simulations, because I'm also not an expert at crack and thump analysis. I also don't do this every day. I haven't done this before. And at Butler, we didn't even need crack and thump because there were other very obvious proofs that Butler was staged. For example, I also made a video where we can say that at Butler there were 3 bullets that would have needed to hit 7 targets. Where is it? This one. So 3 bullets would have needed to hit 7 targets. The first 3 shots I am referring to. And this is, you don't even need crack thump for that. Or this one here for the foolproof video with the audio, you also don't need crack thump. And I can remember this crack thump. So when this entire thing started, so then there was this video of Goodman and Cullen with the drones of US intelligence. And then I found out, okay, they also had debunked Butler. They had made some videos on that. And I thought, you know what, why don't we share the work now? Why doesn't Goodman care about the drones? Cullen cares about the crack thump, and I care about the other irregularities, AI errors or whatnot. And I thought Cullen should do the crack thump analysis. But little by little, I found out that Cullen's calculations were not so spot on. And then I worked my way into it, but that was already early October. Yeah. So,
all right. So we have a few super stickers. Thanks, Travel Adventure. And then we have Deborah Serrano again. Thanks for your super chat. Candace has scoffed at those saying Charlie's still alive. If I were you, I'd reach out to Tyler Robinson's attorney by email. I think you did reach out, didn't you?
Yeah, if we can say it. I mean, yeah, I did reach out. They haven't reacted. And I would love if they actually contact me. They have my email. They even have my private email address. It's not my channel email, my private email. And I know in court you have to have the real name. I would have even offered my real name to them because I mean it so seriously.
And then someone else asking, how can they contact you? The easiest way is probably on X, correct?
Yeah, you can contact me on X or on my channel email if you have more elaborate suggestions. Yeah, these are the 2 main possibilities, or just leave a YouTube comment, or yeah.
So we have this one here from Rome Info. The weakness in your exposition, Algeist, is that you are using Google Map data, which is known to be inaccurate. You need to use a more precise spatial model.
No, no, it is accurate enough because, as I said, the margin for error is, this is 6 meters. This is not plus minus 10 centimeters. This is 6 meters. So it is accurate enough. And I measured it very accurately, the horizontal. And I know what you mean, that here on maps, you don't really have the 3-dimensional one, but you can get that on Google Earth. And I also took the values by Matt Kester, the vertical one that Matt Kester presented with the feet, with the elevation. I took the exact same values of him. He says, Kester said the sniper position was 4,668 feet, and on ground it was 4,596 feet. So I took exactly these values, and I think this is accurate enough. I mean, we're not talking about plus minus 10 centimeters. We're talking about 6 meters here. 6 meters. Google Earth is definitely accurate enough.
Yeah, it says online the average is about within 5 feet, like a meter to 5 feet, something. Yeah, so it's not perfect, but it's probably good enough in most cases.
Yeah,
now I know.
and Gary has a
Yeah.
map. I offered it to Gary with his supercomputer. I think as he said, he's the only person that can run the map. Yeah, Gary, we can recreate this virtually on your map, and Gary Melton can also reenact a shot, or we can invite people. I mean, you
and
can
for those
come
not
to me with your
familiar,
virtual maps, with your precise virtual maps that are more precise than Google Maps, and we can again redo it, and we will find the exact same result again.
and when he says Gary, he's talking about Paramount Tactical.
Yeah, Gary Melton from Paramount Tactical. Yeah.
All right, we have a super chat. Deborah Serrano. Oh, sorry, we already did that one. I need to scroll down. Let's see. I really love nerds. Mad respect. That's your girlfriend again. That's your girlfriend there. Let's see.
Thank you. I think you're a nerd too, Marisa.
TPUSA is making millions out of Charlie's death.
Like
why would they fake it? And why would the FBI cover up for a couple of corrupt pastors?
They earned big time, yeah. The memorial brought them 100 millions. I think this money went to TPUSA. So why would they fake it? Yeah, to get 100 millions in that memorial. This is one big factor. And why would the FBI cover up for a couple of corrupt pastors? Because they worked together with them. They told them to do that. Intelligence told them to do that. This TPUSA is an asset of the FBI. Did they do what the FBI wants them to do? I mean, who knows? If the FBI needs another distraction for the media, then maybe we have Erica Kirk faking her death. That would be a spectacle, right? Erica Kirk with her acting skills, maybe faking her death. I mean, this could happen. Or I mean, this entire with Candace Owens, this entire jamming the social media with videos that no one cares about, where they argue about email appointments and whatnot, or video call appointments in emails or whatnot. This is, distracting the public for the FBI. TPUSA is an intelligence asset.
All right, we have a lot of questions, but I'm not. So we're almost at 3.5 hours. I will not force you to go to 4. So we'll start getting to some of the more in-depth questions, because I know you're very, very late there, and we appreciate you being on for sure. Let's see. Interview of interviews.
Thanks.
Tantrum Riot says your calculations are correct. I ran the numbers by taking the scripts in your spreadsheet. You got it right. Distance doesn't land where Charlie was.
Thanks, man.
Let's see. Ali is asking.
Yeah, contact me per email, and maybe if you have a science background, then contact me. It's very interesting. Maybe that's a peer review then.
So Ali's asking, can we hear the shot and the thump? They want to hear the shot.
Yeah, can you hear this Audacity file? I mean, I have it. Where's the Audacity? Can you hear this?
Nope. Cannot hear that one.
No. Yeah, I can hear it, but you can't.
No.
It's just a short little.
You might need to reshare and make sure the audio is checked.
Okay, so I click on end share.
Yeah, and then share again and make sure audio is checked on there. Thanks, William Crumby, for the super chat.
Okay, so I hope you can hear me. And now we try again.
There we go.
Can you hear
Yep.
it?
So can you actually show? Can you shrink it so there's no
Yeah.
thump?
So
and
what
just
I
like
do here, this is how I came up with what the thump is. How I determined that this is the thump. So I listen to this repeatedly, maybe 100 times over, or maybe for a single recording, maybe like 10 times, or over various days. And this is how I determined that. So time and time again, crack thump. Make it a little shorter. Yeah, where is it? Where is the thump? Hmm?
No, this is a
And
very
now?
good point. Someone says protect your files. Do you have all this stuff backed up?
Yes, I think I should make sure that I have the latest version backup. Yeah, but that's a good point. Yeah, I should protect them. Yeah, definitely. So, and yeah, this is how I determine it then. Yeah, and this is the 13.3 seconds then. This is how I determine the crack thump gap. I mean, we can let it run again. This is what this sounds like. Yeah, crack thump. I mean, it sounds like a.
Yep.
And yeah, you just with baby steps, essentially just making it shorter and shorter until it's only a without the p. Yeah. And then yeah. I mean, you have to do this over various days to really develop the hearing, and then you can precisely determine it. And here is how you then determine the gap. Yeah, again, so this is how you do it.
So we have an interesting question here. They said, what if you're right about him initially faking his death, but he died in another manner? Like some people were saying maybe he was taken out on the car drive to the hospital, for example.
Yeah. Now, first off, let's just stick with the people that say, okay, there was a shot into the trunk, but they killed him with a second shot. Now, why would they not shoot him from the roof, right? Why would they even plan it? You have a sniper on the roof that fires into the trunk instead of shooting Kirk, and then you have a second one that has to fire at the exact same time to shoot him from close range. Why? Why not shoot him from the roof? It's an easy shot. Hunters have confirmed that, right? So, and then in another manner, yeah, the only thing that I can see is he didn't really die in the hospital later on, because it was very important that Charlie Kirk participated in staging his death. And well, if he knew they were going to kill him later on, then he wouldn't have participated. He would have just informed people that they were going to kill him. So this also doesn't really make sense logically. So the only possibility that I see is that they might have killed him. They might have killed him later on to put his DNA in the casket, to put his corpse in the casket, because there are people that might come along and say, you know what? Let's check if there is a puppet in this coffin. We're going to excavate the coffin, and then we're going to take a DNA sample. And if it's a puppet, then we're going to realize that. So they might think now, the people in charge or the powerful people that ordered this entire staged shooting, they might now say, okay, we're going to kill Charlie Kirk later on just to put his dead body in the casket. We're going to rebury the casket then. And if someone wants to excavate it and check the DNA, then they will find his actual DNA. And this is the only scenario that I see that he might actually be dead. Mm-hmm.
All right, we have a super. You want to read that one and take that one? I'm not sure if this is in your area, but you might have an opinion on it.
What about the blue plane on the tarmac? Its transponder was on before the event, went dark during it, then came back on minutes after. That's exactly how a jammer signal ops plane behaves. Yeah, I think this is about the planes spotted by John Cullen. Could also, I don't think it's about the Egyptian plane. I think it's about the plane that allegedly dropped the drones when it made a circle maneuver over Utah Lake. Yeah, this is what it's about. Yeah, I know this might be a false lead. I mean, with these drones, why would the drones? Why would you need a plane to just put the drones there, to drop the drones on that UVU side, and then the drones have to ascend back to the plane? So that doesn't make too much sense, because you can just hide the drones in the desert, fly them to UVU, and then fly them back out to the desert. But is this really meant in this question?
I would
The
agree
blue
with
plane
that,
on the-
because if you think about it, if you have a plane, the plane flying in, even if the transponder's turned off, you're still going to see it, right? It's a very obvious thing that's in the sky. They could easily just put it in a van, disassembled or something, and reassemble it and fly it up from a vehicle. There's no reason to fly an entire plane from another country in with a, it just seems pretty far-fetched. But I don't know. Interesting question. Thanks for the super chat. Let's see. Yeah, this is interesting too. The only reason I even entertain the idea that he faked his death is because the level of corruption completely surrounding him is overwhelming, and it's hard to imagine he didn't know anything.
Yeah, this is just pure logics that he must have known something, and the amounts of money involved were very big, and it's all financial fraud that leads to very long sentences in prison.
William Cumby, thanks again for your super chat. Let's see. Audio source is shielded from the rear except Adams. Audio source is shielded from the rear. Are you talking about directional mics? I'm not sure exactly what you mean there.
Adams, who's Adams? Wait, Adam Bartholomew, he means.
Yeah.
Adam Bartholomew. Yeah, Bartholomew was not really shielded from the back, but in general, this was not a shot from. Yeah, they were shielded from the back, from the rear, because of this building there. Yeah, and we have the echoes. We have the echoes reflected from the building. So here, from the building, it was reflected backwards. Here also. Yeah, and so you mean a shot through the tunnel? Yeah, but we don't have any sign of a shot through the tunnel. And Adam Bartholomew, yeah, I don't have it on the map here, but have another map, yeah. So he was not shielded. That's right. And all the others were shielded, because Adam Bartholomew is on his balcony here. Yeah, I mean those two here, but yeah. So this is, I don't have it here, but this is recording 1 and 13. This blue cross here, maybe zoom in more. So this blue cross, these two blue crosses, 1 and 13. So could have gone through, but there's the tent in the way. Yeah, that's true. And I don't know if this question really hints at a shot from behind here, but I mean, it's obvious that the backside of the tent would have blocked the view if it had been very far here, or, and yeah. So the rear, essentially, it was not just the audio shielded it, but also it also shielded the line of sight. There was no clear line of sight from the back here, and you cannot see through the backside of the tent with some kind of infrared camera or something. This is not really possible. So I am very pessimistic. Or it was not a shot from the rear. No, it was really this shot from the front, 140 yards. We have the irrefutable proof. But I know it's fun evaluating these other possibilities. I mean, I also did that. I evaluated all possibilities, and yeah, I considered them at a very deep level. I mean, I put hundreds of hours into this, just considering that entire scenario, and all these suggestions there with a shot from this side, and with Seb Boykin's shot, and with Goodman's proposition, and with Martinson's position, and with Cullen's position. Yeah, it is fun evaluating that, and I hope I haven't lost you. Oh, now you're back. Yeah.
Nope, we're still here. I'm just looking at some of the emails and stuff. People are sending me other questions outside of that. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. Let's see. We have a couple questions coming in through email for you. They're using the back channels.
Okay, interesting.
Let's see. Okay, so the question is, I think Jason Goodman said in his interview on the Redacted podcast, so this was Jason Goodman on Redacted, that the dot in that footage, I'm guessing the dot that people thought was weird on his skin or his flesh or something.
The artifacts.
Is not an artifact. Have you seen that, or will you, Algeist?
Yeah, Jason Goodman's theory. Yeah, maybe can you just maybe pull it up? I guess he has this or somewhere on his X anyway. Somewhere must be, or I don't know if you can just search for it. This is an artifact, and many have pointed this out. I was also one of the first to point this out on X. These three artifacts are not even in a straight line. So it cannot be any bullet, and this artifact appears to fly away from Kirk and not towards Kirk. And Goodman says, yeah, this is some kind of compression issue. Yeah. But still, then the bullet would come from too high above, from above the open hatch of the trunk. So really high above, downwards. And this, in my opinion, this is really just a doctored footage, doctored video. Video 7 is doctored. They sent it to Seb Boykin, and he made a video on it. It went viral on YouTube. They gave it a lot of views. They gave it like 600,000 views, and it was just bunk. And the only reason they did that was to cover the search term earshot, because until then, this search term earshot was not covered. The search term assassination earshot still led to the Butler staging. And I don't know, Jason Goodman somehow fell for it, or Seb Boykin, I don't know, Seb Boykin maybe also fell for it. We don't know. Did Seb Boykin just receive this video with a tip? Look at it. This might be some kind of shot. And Jason Goodman then tried to be very good-hearted or tried to grant too much, and then said, it is that, but it's not from the side, it's from the back. And then they kind of also stopped talking to each other, and I don't know. And Jason Goodman somehow got caught up in this. And I didn't really understand Jason Goodman so much, because he could have been the complete gentleman of this entire discussion, right? He had the drones found early on. He's the drone expert. No one doubted that. It's his finding. Yeah, he found these US intelligence drones. And then he just, at a certain point, he thought, okay, he made his own theory that was not really too convincing or not too obvious from the beginning, because these dots somehow seem to fly away from Kirk, right? As if maybe someone had shot him from in front somehow. I don't even know what this should have looked like. This is a really bad fake, I think, these artifacts. I never knew what to make of it. To me, it looks like such a botched, doctored manipulation, really. Obvious manipulation of video 7. And you simply cannot catch a bullet with a smartphone camera. Doug Mills tried it at Butler, and I made a video on that, and they also messed it up here at catching a bullet in flight is tough. And if you fake it, you can get caught very easily. And Doug Mills got caught. I present this in this video here in the beginning, that the photo of Doug Mills was a deep fake, because we can also calculate that, because this streak here that is somewhere here in that video is just too long. It's double as long as it should be. And I think this again was just some
doctored footage there in this video 7 that Boykin and Goodman used for their theories.
All right. So, everyone that's watching, of course, we appreciate you being here. Please hit that like. It's the only thing that makes YouTube happy. And then make sure you head over to his channel, which is in the description. And make sure you like and subscribe over there. Show him some love. And since it is getting very, very late, we're almost going on 4 hours here, and Algeist is in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
We will do 2 last questions.
Okay.
So this will be our last 2, and then we will let you get your rest. And we appreciate you being here. Guys, let him know how much you enjoyed him being here and taking all this time out of his night in the middle of the night to be on here for 4 hours. All right, let's see. First question. Did Algeist discuss the radio frequency signature of the crack, whatever that is, with other ballistics from different weapons, basically 38, 22, or even a high-powered air gun at different calibers?
Yeah, I think we should not overthink it. Listen, what we should care about is just these signals here. And the problem is that every smartphone records audio differently. And you have a lot of AI, not just in video recording, but also in audio recording. And
Post-processing.
Post-processing and so on. And all these audio tracks already look different at first glance. And yeah, maybe if you have a very standardized recording device, then maybe you could somehow extract what kind of bullet it was or whatnot. But I think in this case, it's almost senseless, because look at how different all these look in Audacity. So, I mean, you would have to know the exact model of the smartphone, and maybe there is some machine learning within every single smartphone, right? If a user of a smartphone just records gun sounds more often, the audio AI in the smartphone might learn how to record certain gun sounds in a very unique way. And I think this is almost a futile task, trying to determine the bullet type from this audio signature. I mean, and why, quite frankly, why would we even try to? What's the use of knowing the bullet type? We know the shot went into the trunk. No one got killed anyway, and it doesn't really matter if the bullet of a small gun or of an AR-15, or if the bullet of a Mauser 30-06, if that was fired into the trunk. I mean, quite frankly, who cares, right? But I know at a theoretical level, from a theoretical perspective, it would be interesting if we would be even able to do that. I mean, we can ask the question in theoretical physics: is it possible to deduce the bullet type just by an audio signature? I don't know if a physicist can do that. I can't.
And a lot of times they can't even figure out the bullet based on shrapnel from the bullet. So,
yeah.
All right. Now, this last question. Let me see here. Make sure. But how many more super chats? Okay. This is the last question. This is kind of a long one. So, and actually, I'll post it in our...
Save the best for last.
Yep. I'll post this in the StreamYard chat as well. You should be able to see it on your screen, I think. Can you see that?
At the bottom, the very bottom, maybe. I just have to drag down real hard. It only shows me that from half an hour ago.
Okay, so I'll see if I can. We'll see if we can do this one. This is kind of a long one. Okay, so this person, Sean Sasser, is saying crack to thump only works when you know all the inputs with certainty, and then you list them out: muzzle velocity, bullet load, barrel length, etc., and whether the bullet actually passed close to the mic or not. Hold on. None of those are known here, so the timing becomes guess-based rather than measurable. On top of that, the recordings are 44.1 kilohertz, which physically cannot capture a ballistic shockwave cleanly, so you can't verify the crack portion in the first place. What are your thoughts on that?
No. I mean, with crack and thump, the only thing that we have is it needs to be a certain distance. So I think the threshold is 70 meters. And if it's above 70 meters, then we can
separate, the human ear can separate crack and thump just by hearing it. If it's below 70 meters, then the human ear cannot do it. But we could then also do it with Audacity if it's below 70 meters. And the main problem, I mean, this is just, I think this is close to trolling. I know people, because Gary Melton also says it. And Gary Melton is the gun expert, right? And all other gun experts also say, oh, we need to know everything about the bullet and the rifle and whatnot. But that's not true. We can hear the crack thump in Audacity. Where is it? Here. We can hear it. I can hear it. In this Adam Bartholomew recording, I can clearly hear it. And we also have these spikes. And not just for one recording, for all recordings. I don't know anything about the rifle. I don't know anything about the bullet, but I can tell you that this is the thump, this is the crack, this is the thump. And then I can tell you that this here is what happened. I can just tell you. I can make this simulation, and I don't need to know anything about a rifle or the bullet. We don't need to know all of these specific properties.
All right. So the last piece of this question, this long question, is how do you determine how long the bullet was actually supersonic for, and what evidence supports that?
The bullet was supersonic all the time until it hit the trunk. Very simple. Why wouldn't it be supersonic? And supersonic, there is first of all. I
want to make sure people know what supersonic means. So supersonic, when it comes to firearms, is typically anything over like 1,100 feet per second. All right. Yeah. So anything over 1,100 feet per second will break the sound barrier and will cause that supersonic crack that you hear. So think of a rifle round, and this is only 140 yards. Is leaving the rifle at over 2,000 feet per second. It's still very supersonic out to those distances easily.
Yeah. And I wanted to just clarify something, that with this threshold, that it's not a clear threshold. There's also a transonic area. This is 0.8 till 1.2, the Mach speed. So I would say this is like 900 feet per second till 1,300 feet per second. Then it's transonic. So we also don't have this very steep transition from subsonic to supersonic. No, we have something in between that is also transonic. Yeah, because I've heard people say, oh my God, maybe it's just transonic for a couple of centimeters and then it's subsonic. Yeah, this is not what would happen. And as you correctly explained it, I mean, this was a perfect explanation. I couldn't have explained it any better. We can also see this in the calculation. It's always well above that, 1,125 that you mentioned, 1,125 feet per second Mach speed. It's well above that. So all of this is supersonic and nothing but supersonic until it hits the trunk.
All right. So this has been a marathon for sure.
Epic.
This
Epic
is
in the sense of the word.
This is the longest stream I've done. Typically streams this longer for gamers. So You've been a champ. We appreciate it. Obviously putting yourself out there and putting your theory out there.
You've
done a couple of videos. For anyone that's interested in seeing like the more scientific breakdown a little bit deeper and some of the stats and things like that, that was in yesterday's video. So if you go watch yesterday's video and obviously go to his channel, you can see some more of that in-depth stuff. But Al guys, we appreciate you being here, and hopefully you get some good sleep tonight. And everyone on your way out, make sure you hit that like and subscribe on my channel and also on his channel. And yeah, maybe we'll have you back on if we get some more new stuff coming out. But to everyone that's out there, we appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.
Yeah. Bye, guys.